Okay, take two. Hey everyone, my name's Excel and this is my Claire A speedrun tutorial for PlayStation. First of all, let me preface this by explaining that I am not a world record holding speedrunner. I'm currently, for New Game Claire A, I'm ranked 24th on the leaderboards, and for New Game Plus Claire A, I'm ranked 9th on the leaderboards, with times of 56.16 and 50.05 respectively. I felt like I wanted to make this speedrun tutorial after seeing 7rady's and Orchlon's tutorials in the past. I felt like there wasn't any PlayStation tutorials out here for us console runners. So I kind of wanted to fill that gap and hopefully be able to do this for you guys. First of all, let's load up a pre-made save that I've got to take us into the RPD, where we can talk about some of the techniques that we're going to use during the run, because there's quite a few things that I want to explain, just so that you are clear and understand all the terminology and what I mean when it happens, so that if I say things quite fast during the run, you will have an understanding of what the hell I'm on about. And first of all, I'm going to explain and break down all of these different techniques and things that I want to discuss. So even if you're brand new to speedrunning or brand new to this speedrun game, then you will at least hopefully be able to watch along and have a good understanding of what's happening. So first of all, let me talk about controls. Oh, actually, let me put it back in English language. So control settings. I used to use type A, which is L3 for sprint, and R1 to switch ammo. Now, and as you can see here, we've got the controller cam. I also have apologies now that this whole recording will probably be in 720p because it's streamed natively off the PlayStation. So, and I can't have like input display and whatnot, so the best I could do is have a kind of ghetto controller cam. Right, so yeah, I used to use controller type A, which is L3 for sprint and R1 for switch ammo. Now in this run, we're never going to need to switch ammo because we're not going to get the Magnum upgrade. So, and I encourage you to get used to using type C. I used to use type A and I did many runs with it, but I'd get frustrated when I'm mashing L3 for sprint and they're not, like she wasn't always sprinting or was too slow, or maybe I was misinputting. But what I like to do now is have type C and the run type as hold. So what this means, obviously instead of toggle, she will only run when I hold run, as you can see. Now this is quite useful for certain techniques like backdash, or when you're coming off ladders, because obviously you don't want to be holding sprint, and sometimes you can accidentally toggle a sprint if you click in on the left stick while you happen to be traveling down the ladder. We will get to that. I'll explain everything to do with the ladders and things like that shortly. But first of all, I want to talk about movement. Now, obviously, this tutorial was inspired by 7rady and Orchlon's tutorials, which I watched a couple of times each over the last few months. I learned a hell of a lot from those guys, and you've probably seen their runs before. You know how good they are. But I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I haven't seen anything like this tutorial or like their tutorials done for us console players. Hence why I wanted to try and fill the gap and do this for you guys. I apologize if I repeat myself. I haven't slept in like 2 days and it's 1 a.m, so bear with me. But I will try and be clear and concise, and I'm going to try not to ramble. So, okay, movement. So first of all, you're going to have played this game casually if you're watching this video, and you're probably trying to get a sub-hour or something. So you're going to be used to the movement, but you should also be aware of how erratic Claire's movement can be while sprinting and while she's in caution. It is quite crazy. Now, the first couple of things that I wanted to speak about with movement, obviously, are to do with like angled turns. So which you may have known or seen as quick turns, right? Now there's a couple of different methods on how to do this. One of which is by utilizing the circle button, so you can hit a direction and circle. The game even tells you in some of the loading help text to use down and circle as a 180 about face. And that's what it says in the loading screen. But I personally don't like these maneuvers. I don't like the circle button. I feel like all it sort of really does is just kind of centers the camera almost. If you pan your camera manually and then hit circle, it just brings it back centralized. Now, I've seen people use this as, use direction and circle for their quick turns, because at least the benefit of it is it catches the camera straight up, like that. Whereas the turns that I like to use are called what I call, and I will be explaining in the rest of this run and referring to as directional or movement turns. Now, what these are the action of turning while still being involved in a run animation. So when Claire's running, if you let go, she runs for like an extra step after you let go, depending on your momentum. She will have like one or two extra steps. I think maybe just one. So during this time, you are free to hit another direction and completely do a 90-degree turn. Like this. So we're running forward, we're going to turn right, we let go and we slam right. We let go, we tap. Ooh, well, that was a diagonal because of the analog stick. There we tap right. This is the thing, on a PC with WSDNA, you're never going to misinput a diagonal like you can on an analog stick. So that's why movement is a bit of a meme on console, because human error. So anyway, these are what I call movement turns or direction turns, and I'll be referring to them as such for the rest of the video. And as I said, these are done by running forward, letting go of forward, and replacing it with a turn. So we press right, we let go of forward, we press right. Hopefully that's clear. And also from this, while you're running forward, I'll get to it when we cover dodges in a moment, but you can also instantly let go of forward and press back, and then that way, if you're real close to a zombie, you can dodge him. So if say we're going to run up to Marvin, say he's about to attack us, oh no you don't, and we can run away and then we can dodge his lunge. I will get to that a little bit more in a second, just after I explain the other turning maneuvers called, or that I like to call, quick turns. Now, some people call these quick turns with the circle button, and some people call these quick turns. So it can be confusing. Hence why I've decided that I'm going to dub these movement or movement turns or directional turns. And the what some people class as aim turning, where you aim and turn, I will class as either aim turn or quick turn. Because just through my own habit, I call this is what I class as a quick turn with the aim. So what you're doing here is, obviously, as you're moving, it's a similar thing. You're pressing L2 and then turning. So L2 left. I'm actually getting a bit too much of a diagonal here, but L2 left, like that. L2 left. Now you can see by messing around here with some movement that you can quick turn in multiple directions, obviously. Now, not only can you use this to run up and take a sharp turn, the other way that you can do it is by panning the camera and then aiming into it, as Orchlon explained in his tutorial. You can, in a way, it's down to preference whether you prefer to turn the camera yourself manually, pan the camera, and then aim to get Claire to realign with the angle that you want. So we want to go that way and get her to realign like that. Or whether you perhaps want to do the sharp 90-degree aim turns. In this run, because I'm going to do obviously a dummy run with autosaves and whatnot to show you guys, you're going to see me utilize probably all of these maneuvers at least once or twice. Quick turns and aim turns you will see me do a lot. I rarely ever do the camera pan into the aim turn. The only time I do that is down the long west corridor when you get to the yellow vest guy, the random guy who's down the end. because sometimes you need to be able to see round the corner if he's not in sight, and then you can quick turn and get past him if he's not looking at you. But we'll get to him. So that was aim turns. Next, as we're here by the stairs, pardon me, I'm a bit gassy, I do apologise. The other thing you may have seen, or you may not, is the action of stair skating. Now, normally, if we just run up the stairs or run down the stairs like this, Claire has a separate stair animation where she hurdles every step, one at a time, clip-clop, like that. Now, if you notice while moving forward and doing straight aiming, just while moving forward like this, like a quick aim, you notice she dashes forward a little bit after each one. Well, we use this for stair skating because this will keep her going at a higher speed than she would have done if she was just using the normal run animation. As you can see, we're going to run up here. It takes quite a few seconds for her to get to the top, quite a few seconds for her to get her way down to the bottom. So with stair skating, which is just literally faintly pressing aim ever so slightly, just enough for her to get that little boost. So should kind of look like that. Now, one thing I do want to explain is the differences between stair skating, and I've got the rocket launcher here as well, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So on a controller, also first of all, the idea of skating is they don't have to be rapidly fast, like you don't have to spam, and you don't really there's not really like a set number. It's just kind of a rhythm. You just got to feel it out. But you should also try and use as light depressions on the controller as you can. You should barely bring up the reticle, and Claire's hands should just flinch. So if you're skating and it kind of looks like this, then that's like what I would class as beginner skates. You're just learning to stair skate. But once you've done it enough times, you'll eventually get the rhythm and the muscle memory for the light depression of L2, and you'll be able to just flick it ever so slightly and get quicker skates. Now, stair skating in general is quicker than not stair skating. So even if you're using quote-unquote bad skates, you're still going to be doing it faster than just running up normally. But when you get the hang of the light press skates, the very faint skates like this, then you will notice a very slight incremental improvement in speed. Now, on a controller and on console in general, it's very hard to get the lightest, most optimal stair skates. This can usually only be done on PC with a mouse or with Xpadder, whereby you can emulate the mouse click. So a good way to show this is with the rocket launcher, because when you stair skate with the rocket launcher on a controller or on console, it usually kind of looks like this. And she lifts the rocket up to her shoulder each time. Well, when you watch a PC runner doing it, I can't even emulate it, but they barely they're barely flinching the rocket. So I can only get like 3 out of 5 successful good skates where she doesn't lift the rocket up to her shoulder. See, that was 2 bad skates and the rest were okay there. I'm starting to get the hang of it. But you can really notice it, even though the animation itself, there isn't a lot to it, considering Claire, with this one, she brings both of her arms together. But because the animation is so different, even with bad skates, you will still kind of skate better with the pistol, just because the animation's different. With the rocket launcher, it's just a slightly different feeling. You need to be a bit lighter, and it's just a slightly different bit of muscle memory than you're used to from the pistol. But this is what I wanted to explain, just so that you know that don't feel bad if you're not getting super optimal skates just yet, especially if you're just starting out. But you know, just know that it's there. Stair skating, the differences. The next thing I want to talk about is item pickups. Now, I don't know if you know this, but obviously, so here to activate this puzzle, normally in casual gameplay, you'd come here, right? Well, believe it or not, there's quite a big range in which Claire can grab things. Now, as 7RayD pointed out in his tutorial, you only need to line up really with this line, this semicircle, and Claire can reach. So you see where I am, how far away I am to reach that? Now, not only this, but if you imagine we're looking dead on at this medallion place here, or the statue, say, and the statue is 12 o'clock. Claire can grab things from 9 until 12, and 12 until about 3, 4, if you imagine it as a clock face. So what this means is you can run side on with things and pick things up or interact with puzzles like this. So when we come back with the medallions later, we're gonna come down the stairs, we're gonna quick turn, and then we're just gonna use the puzzle here. So we don't have to get super close to it, and it's another slight minute time save. Now this also works with picking up items. So for example, we've got a first aid spray here, right? Now say we were coming from this area, we want to grab the first aid spray and we want to head for the stairs. Okay, so normally, again, in a casual gameplay, you'd probably come here, you'd grab the item, and then you'd run off. Well, because of the side animation, the side pickup, you can kind of swoop by and just grab it. Like that. And it's the same here with this ammo. Instead of having to like bump up against the desk, you can proper just cruise past it, mash as you go past, and boom, you've picked up the ammo. This works in, for pretty much every item in the game, and as well as interactions for puzzles, as I showed you by the medallions. And I'll mention it now, but I'll bring it up at the 2 points when it's important. There is another pickup kind of ability that I would like to mention, which I guess kind of call quick latch. I guess everyone else calls it that too, but it's where, for example, say this lever was one that we could actually re-interact with. You would, instead of running up to it and then using it, with two particular things that I know of in the game, perhaps there's more, but one with Claire and one with Sherry, we can hold X before we get to it, and then she will automatically be using or examining or whatever, investigating and using the item. Or the switch, or the lever, or what have you. So it's not super important, because it's only the morgue drawer for Claire when you get the diamond key, and for the drawers for Sherry when you have to climb up. They're the only two instances that I know of where that happens in the game. But I just thought I would put it there anyway. Also, now I want to talk about inventory. So let me, first of all, just put away this rocket launcher, because we do not need it any longer. I had it to go and clear out a path to make this save, because I went and got the spade key and killed everyone. So with inventory, I'm not sure if you're aware, but inventory goes from left to right. What I mean by this is, say for example, now we've got these two open slots here, right? If I go and pick up a new item, like this herb, it's going to head for the first available slot. So it's going to try and go here. Whereas, again, if the third slot was available, it's going to try and go there. And if the fourth slot was available, it would try and place itself there, and so on. And how that works into the next row is like this. Being again, it would be the first slot, second slot, third slot, fourth slot. So just be aware of that it has a sequential order. That can be useful when, say for example, this is your inventory, right? You pick up this herb, but you want it down here. If you know that these are your two open slots, then you know that you can go down right X and you will place it in the empty slot. So we can't have SRT on console, the speedrunning tool that shows us our inventory and the DA and things like that, and the enemy health and whatnot. But we can. So we have to kind of remember and actually use our brains a little bit more, because we have to remember what our inventory looks like. If you do this pauses the timer. If you do this, it does not. So you can't sit around in your inventory just thinking, oh, okay, maybe if I go do this and I move that to there and I can pick up these keys. So you can't afford to do that in the speedrun. The other thing that I will explain is discarding. So we can discard this key here because we have the check mark next to it. Now, what you want to do for this is, for example, also, every time you open your inventory, you will start on the first slot. So if you open your inventory raw, you will always start on the gun here, for example, right? Let me move that there. Right. The other thing you can do, obviously, it says you can move things with square. So we can pick up the knife and we can put it there. Now, you may or may not have been aware that you can actually do this with empty slots as well. So depending on what you're close to, so let me move these to here. If I want to put my pistol and my knife both down into these slots here, instead of going to move the pistol and then going all the way back to the knife and placing it, what we can do is we can move the pistol, hit the empty slot on the way back, then swap the knife. You will probably see me do this when we first initially open this shutter, because it's the way I move my inventory a little bit. Or I try to, so I still kind of sometimes mess that up, but it's worth knowing that you can use the empty slot and not just, you don't have to hone in on the item. And next obviously is discarding. So discarded items cannot be recovered. Discard, yes. So these are something that are a bit of a meme, especially on low FPS, because a lot of the time we try and do it super fast, where you will go X up, X up, X. And when you do it fast, it will be like that. Sometimes you will try and do it and end up left still with the item, and it will just fail because you will be too quick for the game. I think people on 60 FPS or higher probably won't notice this, but on a base PS4, I definitely notice this, because when I try to discard the bolt cutters to pick up the detonator, sometimes I get memed on and it doesn't discard, and I'm like, oh, thanks then. The other thing that's worth pointing out, I think I can demo this. Brilliant. So what I want to do, actually before, well, I can take guns and knives and stuff, right? Okay, so I want that. Then we want the rocket launcher, okay. So, alright, let me put that away. Let me put this here, and there, like that. Okay. So near the end of the game, you pick up the plug for Claire. Before you grab, you place the plug and then you pick up the minigun. And you'll see at that point in the game that your inventory obviously will have more slots than this, but there will be random sparse openings. Now, instead of you having to rearrange for space, with a dual item, what you can do is you can grab it, and the game will automatically try and give you. It will pick the first open slot, which is that one next to the red one flashing next to the spade key, and it will automatically assume the spot for you and replace the spade key into the bottom row, like this. So that's also handy to know when it comes to dual items. And the last thing that I wanted to speak about with inventory and items is combinable items. So later on, you have in the labs, you have the wristband. And with the wristband, you'll pick up various key cards, which you have to combine into it. So say now that this combat knife here is our wristband, and we're just about to we're going to pick up the key card from here, okay? So even though the inventory is full, you can combine it straight. And then even with full inventory, because it's a combinable item, it will still take, so you won't have to worry about it too much. Okay, the next thing that I want to discuss is the slowdown mechanic in this game, which Orchlon in his tutorial taught me about, and I didn't know about until he did that. So what the slowdown mechanic is the game's way, the way they've coded and programmed it, so that it's kind of for realism, so it doesn't look a bit silly. So when we approach this switch here, when we run up to it, by the time we get to around here, Claire is going to stop running, and she'll take, like, her last 2 steps will be like walking steps. Like that. See, she stopped and walked. Let's just try and show you again. She stops and walks for items. This happens as well at walls and doors. So if I go to this little banister here, notice she slows down, and I'm still sprinting. I haven't let go. She slows down the 2 steps before we get there, even though I'm holding run the whole time. So it can be annoying, especially for doors, because you just need to line up your door correctly. You just need to get a clean door, and we'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to switches and interactables, the game doesn't want you. The game wants you to stop like this. Again, I'm holding forward. What the game doesn't want is to have this happen. That's why that coding was presented in the first place. So it doesn't look silly with Claire treadmilling against a wall. Now, because of this slowdown, it can be annoying when it comes to interacting. So one thing you're going to see me do, and you'll see other runners do this as well, is we use that the stationary stair skate there while we're running forward, the stair skates, the dash. We use this to propel ourselves forward a little bit and to avoid the slowdown. So instead of me getting the slowdown for this switch, I can dash into it, and you obviously use it, but I've already used it. So again, you can skate into it and grab it. And for this particular item, and for a couple of others in the game, like the switch puzzle at G2, and a couple of others, well, they're the ones I can think of off the top of my head right now, is this one and G2. You want to find the point. You either want to skate into it and do a quick skate and a grab, or you want to find the point where she won't have the slowdown and she can treadmill like this, because that will still keep you at top speed. So you can run into this fence and use that switch. That's what I used to do when I was actually still learning this run. But you will see, however, when I come in this door, just as muscle memory now, I will come up to it and I will try and grab it like that. I'm still a bit bad at timing the appropriate skate, but there will be one or two maybe elevator switches or lever switches like this that you will see me pull, and you perhaps might even see, oh, he didn't get the slowdown there, he sort of dashed into it and managed to grab it really fast. If you notice that, then happy days, that's all I ask. But just know that it's there, and it can be annoying, and it's especially annoying for doors. Have I not opened this one yet? Apparently not. Okay, it's fine. So, did I kill everyone in here? Yeah, okay, brilliant. Yeah, so let's talk about doors now then, I suppose. So, doors are a bit of a pain in this game, because there's different ways that Claire can interact with them. This one's fine. There's different ways that Claire can interact with the door. And depending on your line, like where you're aiming for at the door, I'm still on the fence whether mashing X actually does anything. Because if you're at a stationary door and you mash X, she pushes the door open. However, if you just run at the door, she will just push the door open, right? So I tend to mash X at every door as well. I feel like even if it's just placebo, it definitely helps me. And I also feel like sometimes your angle and your camera, like your angle to the in relation to the door on approach, as well as your camera angle, can affect whether you get a fast or a slow door. So sometimes what I used to do is I used to lean the camera underneath Claire. I promise it wasn't to look at her booty. I get to do that enough as it is. But I've like here, you just notice there, if I lean the camera up, I thought for this door and for that door over the way, I thought it was a quicker method, because it used to work for me. But now I actually think panning the camera downwards is better, because not only will you visibly take a cleaner line because you can see where you're going better, but the camera just doesn't seem to bump up against Claire and get her stuck on the door. Now, when it comes to going through doors in general, I know it probably seems silly and counterintuitive, but this is a thing in this game. You can get slow doors where if you hit it at the wrong kind of angle, they will just barely push through it. But depending on your angle, you can even have a different animation to go through the door. So what I mean is, if we run down this corridor and just follow Claire directly like this, and we can go in the door like that, right? But what we can also do, and you'll notice the difference here, if I keep the camera straight and then movement turn Claire, you can do it that way. This one's probably not the best example. Let me show you on one where I've got a bit more of a good line. Perhaps this door is a good option, because you can't the stairs. So a lot of the time you'll skate here, you will turn to try and get a straight dead-on door. Now sometimes that's just as fast, but I want you to know that there is also the option to take the door side on like that, where Claire will shoulder barge the door because of her angle. So let's try that again. Let me go to the other side, because I know that there's a perfect line to show this without stairs on this other door. Oh, I'm just noticing my camera's a bit off. I'm going to try and stay in shot and in frame for the game, but I apologize now if I veer off just because of, you know, moving and trying to be comfortable. Okay, so what I mean about the side-on shouldering the door is this, like that. So when the camera is behind Claire and you use a directional or a movement turn, then she will have a different animation where she slams her shoulder through the door. Now, the one thing I'm not certain of is if that's quicker than just getting a normal door like that. I don't know. I think it might be just a different animation. But one thing I can be quite certain of is it can stop you getting scuffed against the door frame sometimes. Because, for example, if you go too close to the door frame here, obviously you'll whiff the door, or you might get stuck on the door frame, or you'll get slowed down from the wall. So what I tend to do is I aim for doors over halfway and into the third quarter. So for like this kind of area here. So instead of aiming for the door handle like that, I aim for the middle of the door so that there's enough of a wide berth when I go through. I shouldn't have collided with door frame and had any slowdown from it. So yeah, doors are a pain. Or you can also quick turn or aim turn through a door as well. And you'll see me do this on the door through that room and a couple of others during the course of the run. I kind of have my own little muscle memory and my own trick for every door. So this was one of the doors that I would pan the camera like underneath her for, just because I felt like it would kind of make it smooth like that for me. But I think I'm going to drop that because I found I was getting... Sometimes she would briefly stop and then push the door, and I found I was getting slowed down from it, which I don't want. So the next thing I want to talk about is ladders. So let's just make our way over to the library where I have previously cleared it out for us to talk about this. So what I want to talk about with ladders is two things. First of all, when you're on a ladder, you can just switch your movement up and down like this. And for example, later on when there's zombies here, if they both attack you at the same time, you can just go straight off and you'll get the invincibility frames. If one attacks, then the other attacks just after, you may need to shimmy and then come off the ladder to give their attack enough time to happen so you can, have the iframes to get past it. So that's one thing I want to speak about with ladders. The second thing is how you get off of a ladder. Now, what I mean is, you'll see here, I'm going to hold sprint and hold down. Now look at that weird turn that she made into the bookcase, okay? Because we were holding sprint. So you need to get into your head and into your muscle memory to let go of sprint on ladders, let her turn, then sprint, and then we get a clean 180. This happens as well, or we use this as well, not only for every ladder, but for Sherry when she goes and gets the key off Irons. She runs up, she gets the key, and then instantly turns away and runs away. If you hold sprint while you're picking that key up and then you turn, a lot of the time you will get these weird kind of, I'll do it off the ladder again, you'll get these weird half circle turns or these big wide bus turns as I call them. Sometimes you'll get a nice turn like that, even though I was holding sprint the whole time, and sometimes you'll get a god-awful turn like that. The game has this weird motion when it comes off a ladder. So release sprint on ladders. This is also the same for ledges. I don't think there is anywhere I can show you this at this part of the game. But when it comes to climbing up a ledge or climbing down off of a ledge, you should basically release a sprint as you get to it. So if you watch my hand here when we get to this ladder, pretend this ladder's a ledge. I'm going to I try and release it to then get on or off the ledge. It's the same as for here. I'm going to let go and then she will instantly attack the ladder. Also, when you're coming to the top of a ladder to go down it, don't have your camera too high, because sometimes the character will just do this. So you need to look at the ladder. If you're just looking at it, you don't need to press X or anything. If you're just looking at it is enough. So I tend to pan the camera like that to proper look at the entrance of the ladder. That definitely helps, so that instead, so you don't end up with Claire just running on the spot like an idiot. Also, it's worth mentioning now, perhaps, I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, and I'm not going to go on about it too much until G3 annoys me, but I wanted to talk about the FPS and frames in this game. So, I'm on a base console, and on a base console, we struggle to hit 45 FPS. Like, 45 in a good day. G3 final phase, you'd be lucky to see about 20 FPS in some areas. But, the FPS, and especially with the knife, because even the casual among you will know that the knife is kind of OP in this game. If you saw Bork Basoop's GDQ run when he killed the first boss with like 8 slashes, because he had such a high FPS. So when I fight the first boss on a base console with around 40 FPS, it takes around 45 or more slashes, about 45 or 50 knife slashes to kill him. On a 60 FPS Pro console, it will take around 25 slashes, and I'm estimating, I'm not sure on the exact amount of slashes on 60 FPS. On 120 FPS, most speedrunners do it between 11 and 20. So that's almost half. So you can see, or more than half, sorry. You can see the difference just by those numbers. 15 slashes is way better than 45 slashes. So I don't let that discourage you. Just because I'm running this on a base console, I'm still going to use knife strats, especially for G1 and for G3. The knife is important, and G4 actually, yeah, and G4. The knife is important for 3 out of 4 bosses, even on base console. So do not fear. The other thing I'm not sure if many people might know about, which I only found out recently, is the quick shot. So normally we aim with L trigger, we fire with the right trigger, right? But what you can do is you can hold the right trigger, and then you can like hold and release the left trigger, and this will give you a quote-unquote quick shot. The only problem is you can't get like an insta shot from it. I think I can probably quick shot better manually than the game, but then the game lets me with their intended quick shot. However, it is still very useful, and it's worth knowing about even if you don't use it. I never use it, I just manually shoot everything, because there is a slowdown anyway, and you can see this. The fact that the game can't match my first input because I'm trying to fire too early. You get this especially with the rocket as well. So I don't know whether that's an FPS thing or an animation thing, because she's not ready to fire yet and I'm trying to fire too quickly. I don't know how that works. So if you're on a higher frame rate console and it doesn't happen to you and you can instantly fire every time, then please let me know. Maybe I'm doing it too quick and it's just not possible to fire until she can fire. That's something I don't know, because again, with the quick shot thing, you can literally, as I said, just hold shoot and tap and release aim. So sometimes you might be, running around here and oh no, that guy, bang. So it could be useful. Maybe I might start implementing it. I just need to get my head around the muscle memory. And the last thing I want to talk about before we go and actually start the run is something called the run boost, or speed boost, or sprint boost. On PC they call it shift boost and tab boost and whatever else. And this is the aspect of... So this is... Okay, just imagine, hypothetically, this is a cutscene. Let me go somewhere... I want to go somewhere a bit more... Okay, I want to line myself up with this line. And this is a cutscene, and I'm going to hold sprint the whole time. And when the cutscene's finished, I'm going to run forward. So the cutscene's finished. Now we run forward. The run boost is, after a cutscene, you move forward, then sprint. And you kind of take off from it. It's not going to be very noticeable here, but I'll show you after some of the cutscenes. You can visibly see Claire... instead of hunching forward when she runs off, she visibly just sprints. She kind of like has a better posture and just glides off. She takes off. It's not super noticeable, and it only saves minuscule amounts, like a split second, if that, half a second or something. But it all adds up, and utilizing run boost was helping me get, when I was getting to the Callahan door, I used to get there at 2:16, and now I get there at 2:14, and I feel like I wasn't doing anything different. All of my quick turns were the same. My shot against Frank was always practically the same. So I think that the run boost definitely helps with that. And the only other slightly different run boost, or that I know of, is the one that 7RayD spoke about in his tutorial, which is from this shutter, which I'll explain when we get here anyway. But basically, when you run boost under this one, you actually want her to lunge forward, and that, in that respect, that should lunge her under the gate and kind of get you going a bit quicker, because she's a bit shorter, she can duck under it. I don't know, again, if that is perhaps placebo for our eyes, because I haven't been able to actually test it with a splitter and whatnot, so I'm not sure, but it looks a little bit quicker, so I thought I would mention it anyway, because it's like a little placebo strat that I use. Okay, now, without further ado, let us get to the run. I'm also going to make a disclaimer here right now as well, is that my strategies that I use for the bosses are relatively consistent. Before I started this recording, I tried every boss, and I got each one on my second or third attempt at my fast strategy. But because of the YouTube curse, I'll probably get owned right now for the sake of the video, but, you know, that's just, it is what it is. I'm willing to deal with it. Right, so I'm gonna go back into Japanese. I'm gonna leave the language in Japanese too, because I'm a weeb. So having it in Japanese does not make anything any faster. I just do it out of preference. I just like how it looks. So what I'm going to try and do as well for this speedrun tutorial is I'm going to try and explain different versions and strategies on a room per room basis where I think it's applicable. So where I think there's an area where there's 4 different patterns and four or 5 different ways that the enemies can get you, or that you could perhaps get past them, I will pause the game and stop and explain it. Also, for this run, it's going to be a save scum autosave run, because I want to be able to repeat areas and show you, and I can't obviously use save states. So that's how I'm going to go about it. Just so you can see, my PB, as I said, is 56:16. If all goes well for this, even this save scum run, we should be looking to finish at around 57. Hopefully, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, but it should still be within an hour. Because I'm going to probably use a clickbait thumbnail for this video of something like beat Resident Evil in less than 60 minutes. Because I kind of want, not only just for speedrunners, but I kind of want some more casuals to check this out too, in case they're struggling to beat like an hour and they want to get an hour and they're getting an hour and 5, hour and 6, whatever. Also, before you comment on it, yes, my B scores suck. That one is the only legit one because I did it handgun only, and the run is on the channel. I need to beat that though, because that was a crap time. I can beat that. These were all rocket launcher runs because I unlocked everything from A, and I didn't need to really bother with B. So, and I was 11th and 10th place for their New Game Plus B, but that was a while ago, and I think I've been demoted now. Anyway, let's go. Claire A, standard. PS4. Now, obviously, if I get messed up in some rooms, I'm gonna redo them because I want to show you the clean way, and I want it to look good, obviously. But also, for example, this part with who we call Frank here in the gas station, I'm going to show you 3 different ways in which you can get around him. So first of all, after this cutscene, we're going to hold forward and then run for the run boost. Like that. I'm not too sure if I actually got that there, but still. This one is left and then sprint. Like that. It just gets her heading in the correct direction quickly. It saves you having to catch up, like to turn the camera before you start moving and kind of line yourself up. So, okay, here as well, after this cutscene, forward and then sprint. But I'm going to show you 3 different methods on how to deal with Frank here, because that was a checkpoint. So first of all is the easiest one that everyone knows. We're going to come along here, we're going to do the quick skate for a quick pickup. And then obviously you can just wait here and Frank will walk past. Boom, and then we can run up to him, and away we go. Okay, that's one option. The reason I'm going to go into a bit of detail for Frank here is because usually we do this option where we run straight to him and we headshot him, but once every sort of 9 times or so he will juke you, and then your shot will miss, and I want you to be aware that he can do that. So the same thing again, we run along here, we quick skate, we pick that up, and then this is how I would normally do it, depending if he doesn't juke me. I shot too late. And I hit his neck. It needs to be a headshot. This is why I'm showing you a couple of methods for this, because it takes a lot of grinding and practice to be able to consistently nail him with a headshot. I still mess it up now and again, and if he's anything but docile, he will be out of place and my shot will miss. Also, loading autosaves can sometimes mess with the RNG a little bit, so we need to be careful with that. I didn't do the quick skate there. There, he did the juke. So there we want to turn away from him. I was lucky enough to react to that. Normally, I'm right by the end of the shelving unit, and as I go to shoot, he jukes me and grabs me. He dodges my bullet and grabs me. That's the animation I want you to see, because that one is quite rare. Most of the time, he just stands there derping. But I want you to be aware that that one exists, because you'll try a run and he'll grab you and you'll be like, whoa, what the hell? So, just know that it exists. So let's try and get the shot strat. Oh, I keep missing, damn it. Okay, this doesn't look good so far. It's because I do try and do it quite fast. I try to preempt where the camera's going to be and just try and hope that that's the right spot, because I don't want to stop and aim and, waste time. Obviously, your results may vary here, because you may want to stop and get the shot, correctly. I mean, you can also do that, so if I actually took my time a little bit more for it, then I could do that, and then quick turn around him, and away I go. But yeah, I tend to just try and do the fast shot. I go right to the end of the cabinet and or to the shelving unit. I go right to the end and just try and almost quick shot him, but without the quick shot mechanic. Perhaps I should learn to use that, maybe that will help. And the other dodge, which I'll show you, or the other way of dealing with Frank, is my knife only strat. So we turn around and we go to the second to last square, this one. Then we wait till his animation finishes, and away we go. I'll carry on with this one. No, I went. I paused and it messed up my menu. Okay, so yeah, normally for the quickest strategy here is to just run along and headshot him. Any one of you that's run this before, you will know that the gas station is a big meme. Frank is a meme as well, and a lot of the time you will get owned doing this. You will have the odd run where he will just mess you up. I need to learn how to sprint boost that door. I'm not very good at it because I'm trying to deal with X at the same time. Quick turn these cabinets here. Now, there's 2 different strategies here, because I used to run New Game Plus. So what I would usually do is I would fire off a couple of bullets here, and then when I get to the guy who's going to bite me into caution, I'd fire the rest of my bullets. The reason I do that is so that then when I reload, I only have 3 items rather than 4 once I get given the knife. So when I get given the knife, I only have 3 things in my inventory: gun, key, knife, instead of gun, key, knife, ammo. For the sake of this run, because if you watch my 56-minute PB, which I'll link at the end of this video, and I'll link in the description, you will notice that, so I'm just going to carry on. You will notice that I fire my bullets here and I play it that way. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to sort of play it the safer way, and I'm going to show you the tutorial that will have ammo. Because the way I run this, I keep myself very low on ammo, because I carry the medallions, flashbangs, and other key items all on me. And I pretty much don't pick up any ammo until after the large gear. No, not even that. Yeah, after the clock tower, when you've got the 2 electronic puzzles and you're on the way to do the Sherry segment. That's when I pick up ammo, so at the end of RPD2. But for you guys, for this tutorial, I'm going to show you the alternate strat so that you will have ammo. Shout outs to Emerald Outlaw, who kind of he unintentionally helped me route this, because his strategy of getting the lion medallion last instead of first means that we're going to be able to carry ammo. So I can show you the having ammo strategy. So for this cutscene, after this, hold down right and then sprint when Claire's able to move. Now, like that. And then we just run along here, we quick turn this car, and we run up straight up to this guy to get him to bite us. Then we want him to bite us again, and that puts us in caution. And if you didn't already know, Claire moves faster in caution, so that's why we do that in the first place. And here, there's a couple of different strategies you can do against these two guys. I can't really do checkpoints here because the last checkpoint... Actually, I could, but it means I have to keep getting bitten every time. But basically, when you're running towards this guy here, if you aim for that car with the weapon wheel, which is pretty much just on where he is now, and you run directly towards him, sometimes he will stumble forward one step, and you can just keep going straight past him. But sometimes he will turn and try and grab you, and you have to go really wide. So it's hard to know until you get past this yellow and black stripy sign coming up. You won't know until you get close to him which animation he's going to do. So let's see if he's going to lunge forward. No, he's going to turn towards me, but we still got a tight turn past him. This guy's a bit RNG. I find that if the first dude that we just passed, if he lunges at me, this dude probably won't. So I can usually go quite dangerous and run quite close to him. But sometimes they will both lunge. It's a bit potluck sometimes. So there I was lucky, but I still stayed just out of his reach anyway. Here we're going to hold forward and run boost again after this cutscene. Like that. Quick stair skate. As we've discussed earlier, skate into that grab to avoid slowdown. Run boost into skate there. Optional quick turn here, whether you want to do it or not. Entirely up to you. I just like the fact that the quick turns give you such nice clean lines. Like, they already line you up because of a 90-degree turn. They line you up for the next corridor. That's why I like using them so much, especially for 90-degree turns. So I even use it here when you don't really need to, because it gets me a better door, believe it or not. So here is what the trick is called pause buffering. Now, this guy here is Callahan. He's just knocked on the door. When he knocks on the door, he usually knocks 3 times and then he breaks through. Well, what we do here is we pause buffer. You don't need to pause it for this long, by the way. You just need to pause it for like a second or 2. And he will continue knocking even in real time while you're paused. So he's knocked once before we paused it. When I unpause it, he's just going to break through the door. There we go. That's called a pause buffer. That is something that I believe it was Waifu that found when he had construction workers at his house or something. And he had to pause the game there and he found it by accident. Now, this strat here for these two is for standard and for base console. You may be running this and thinking, well, XL, I always run straight through these two and I never have a problem. As long as you get the right line, it's fine. I used to get bitten by the girl. As soon as I touched her, she would always bite me. So what I do here is when I get in line with the press room doors, I release sprint for about half a second and then I sprint again. Just enough for Claire to sort of stutter and then on her way again. That, for some reason, gives me enough time and gives those zombies enough time for them to come out into the clearing and me to be able to get through them. And I find it very consistent. So let go, run, like that. And that used to be the scariest part of the game for me, because they used to always grab me. And as soon as I figured this out, I told some friends about it on my stream, and one of my friends tried it and had positive success trying that strategy. So I like to think that that is something that definitely does work. It's very, very consistent for me. So now we're going to get the knife. So we're going to mash and use this from side on. So now you're going to start to see the things that we've gone over. So then here, I'm going to use inventory, move my gun, move the ammo, and delete the key. Oh, I got memed on. And again. Did it too fast. Then here we're going to try for the run boost under the shutter. Didn't get it. Never mind. My inventory meme screwed me up there. So yeah, try not to be too fast for the game and for the frame rate. If that was on 60 FPS, that would have just deleted. Because I've played it on 60 FPS and my menuing is better and I can do things faster because the game allows me to. Keep the turns nice and traditional here, obviously. Nice and tight. Then here after Claire lands, we do another run boost. That failed. If she lunges forward on that run boost, that's a fail. If she just glides straight off, then that's successful, as far as I've seen. Now this shot, I might get memed on here if I can't make this shot. Fantastic. Oh, I couldn't make the turn though. Oh, got stuck. It's fine, it's fine. So we just turn up there, we grab the key from side on, and we get through the door. Should be about 358, 359. Usually on a good run where I haven't been memed and I've, had a smooth run, I come through that door at 352 or 354. Normally I would probably reset at this kind of time, but as it's a tutorial run, I'm not trying to PB, so it really doesn't matter. Quick skate here to skate into the call. Seems to be a bit placebo, but I feel like she dashes into it more. And let's see where Eleanor happens to be. Okay, she's gonna turn away. Fantastic. So sometimes she turns to you, and sometimes she turns away. But just keep an eye on her and get used to her patterns. But that's Eleanor, and make sure you get to know her, because she will end plenty of your runs. Now, because we've picked up ammo, and we're carrying ammo for this tutorial, normally I would grab this medallion here, but I wouldn't have any bullets. So it's the trade-off. But for you guys, I want you to have bullets for the RPD in case you don't land every shot like I've done so far. You might miss. So whereas if I miss, I reset. So we're going to ignore that medallion now, and we'll get it last. So because of this, we're now going to have the inventory to carry enough ammo as well as the rest of the key items, and the way that I routed it with safety flashbangs as well. So quick turn through here, and then here. I can't pause it. Okay, now I can. If you turn Claire to look at the windows, and you can either do a quick aim or just pan the camera to look at the windows, if you get it right, she will stumble forward 1 or 2 steps instead of being reeled back 2 steps. See, like that. So that was a reel back. That's what happens when you pause it halfway up the corridor and you don't know your timing. So yeah, there she reeled back because we did it wrong. I might be a minute away from there to be able to show you again, but I'm actually not sure where this cutscene is. Oh, it's back here. Okay. So now you can see me miss that spade key shot again, because even though I got it cleanly last time, I won't get it this time. I was hoping I would only have to go past him the once, so that I could get that one cool shot and be done. Because this guy, for me, is a big reset point, because I don't have the ammo to be able to miss. I'll take that. So I've got 3 shots in the gun and 5 remaining, but normally I only have 3 and that's it. Still at 3:59, damn. I thought that might have been a bit quicker. But if you're coming through there and you're at like 3:55 to 4 minutes, then you're doing well. That's fine. Oh, bad door. So you'll see that I still get screwy doors now and again because my line is just off by a couple of mil. It's hard to get every door super clean in the whole game. And some of these RPD doors are a bit weird for that as well. Okay, so as I said, we're going to skip this medallion and we'll get it later before we go to G1. It doesn't really lose much time. I think it loses about 10 seconds doing it that way round instead of my way, but that's fine. Okay, so let's just get the correct strat here. There, see, she only stumbled one step and then she could move again. It's a minute time save, but it's a time save nonetheless. Now, because we're carrying ammo, we're going to pick this up. So we have got some spare. And I'm going to do my Screw You Callahan dance. Because the police zombie that broke through the door earlier, the one where we pause buffered, there's a chance that he could be either right behind this door, but closer to the next door that I need to go through. He could be some point down the corridor. He could be at the end of the corridor, or he could be not there at all. He's one of a few zombies that are kind of completely random in their placement within range, within certain positionings. So let's see what we get here. So he's not here. Fantastic. Right. And now here we used this item. See how I ran and hit it diagonally? Because if you go straight to the chains where... if you go to the handle of the door, Claire will basically go up and push the door, and then she'll go like, oh, it's locked. But if you miss the door handle and aim for the middle of the door and get it from the side, you can just examine it clean. Then we're going to come here and pick up a flashbang. Normally we wouldn't get one until the detonator, but this is going to enable us to have an extra one through the course of the game, so we can use 2 flashes on G2. Don't get too close to the table, because you don't need to. Try and give these zombies epilepsy while we're here. Okay. Now we move on. We should be about 610. 604, still good, still good. There's ammo there if you need it. If you want to pick it up, I've got like 20 shots. I'm more than happy with that much ammo. I probably won't pick any more up for the whole game now. So this guy, just steer clear of him and you can get past him. Now here, in this corridor, this was the yellow vest guy I mentioned earlier. He could either be halfway down this corridor in the moonlight there. He could be by the window at the bottom. He could be right by the corner, at literally corner camping, and as soon as you go to quick turn, he just instantly bites you. Or he could be round the corner, far away, looking at us, and we're going to have to shoot him. He could also be at the bottom of this corridor by the window and turning away from us, or already back turned. He could be round the corner, quite close, back turned, or he could be round the corner, far away, back turned. If he's back turned in any of those positions, you can practically just run straight past him. So because he's not in our sights here and he hasn't walked into view, we're going to have to turn the camera. So he's here looking at us. I would shoot him and then you can get a clear path. I wouldn't trust trying to dodge past him otherwise. Again, we hit the middle of the door here so we don't get the push animation. Let me do a discard. Get memed on, pick up the detonator, pick up the flash. Keep mashing X to not have that happen. That was supposed to avoid that. This guy is donuts. He's also random. If he's facing away from you there, he is not a problem. If he is looking at you and that far away, he's not a problem and you can get past him. If he's looking at you but already walking towards you, you'll probably have to dodge around him. I didn't go over the dodges. I'll have to go over that in a bit. So there's a couple of patterns, or he may not even be here at all. But for now, we've got quite a good pattern. So as you'll see, RPD is full of like, this zombie's random and maybe here, this zombie's random and maybe here, and it gets a little bit annoying. Especially when you have to reset a lot. Oh, wrong one. That's usually my 3rd slot, but this is the first time doing it with this ammo inventory, so bear with me. Okay, so the liquor. The strat here, I learned this from 7RayD as well, and I've had quite good success with it, but I'm not sure on the percentage of success rate just yet. And the strat is, instead of just busting through the door and turning left and getting the battery, we're gonna get to the door, open it kind of slowly, then dash. And what that should do, like that, and then turn away. That was a poor movement, but still. Hopefully, if this works, it should make the licker be on the floor, and he will do this. He will whiff his attack like that, and now if he runs to us, even off screen, he shouldn't be able to catch me here. There we go. It's worth noting with lickers, you see that I turn to look at him with the camera. Lickers are able to be manipulated, and they're quite camera shy when they're on camera. It basically makes them behave. As I quick turned the corner and I wasn't looking at him anymore, there was a chance he could go a million miles an hour down that corridor and slash me before I even got to the door, which is what we call when they turbo you. Sometimes they will just do it anyway, even when you're looking at them. They are a law unto themselves, so keep that in mind. Now this medallion is fish, scorpion, and vase, or jug, or water, however you know it. This is our first medallion. We're going to come through here, we're going to pick up that knife. There's usually a zombie here, but he's not here for some reason, so we've got different RNG. We're going to move this bookcase. He's over there, that's fine. If the zombie that I mentioned that wasn't there, if there is a zombie there, just run straight to the bookcase and run round them. It's a free dodge, you don't even have to try. I actually prefer it when they're there because I like how it looks, but never mind. So we use the detonator here, and we're going to pick up this side pack. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come outside, we're going to turn around, we're going to open this door up, and it's going to stop that bookcase from falling over. Ooh, let me do that again. I was too fast. Most people stop and walk, but I do a different strategy. And I usually have it so that I don't have to slow down. So most people, what they do is they come out the door, and then they just stop and dawdle, turn around, walk through the door, keep it open, and then they sprint. So what I do, I don't know, oh, please put me after the licker. It's not going to, is it? It's going to be miles away. I hate RPD checkpoints. Oh, okay, so let's try the licker again. I hope for the best. We may have to mulligan this one a couple of times if it doesn't go well. Okay, there we go. He whiffs the attack. And then he's going to come along here, and hopefully we're going to miss him. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so fish, scorpion, jug. Yeah, I hate the checkpoints here because it's not easy to do certain sections, like to redo just one section. I wish that that's one thing I'm looking forward to, that if I move to PC I could probably use like save states and stuff. Which would be a lot easier, honestly. But okay, so let me try and do this the way that I normally do it. Oh, slow door. Slow door. See what I mean? You can get slow doors. You wouldn't think it, but it does happen. Even I get slow doors. Especially in the RPD, because it's just, some of these doors are funky. So what I do is I go like 4 slats along the bridge. And then when it comes back, it blows up here, and then it's never going to stagger you, because then it stops you having to slow down and to potentially mess up. This one is Maiden, Bow and Arrow, Snake. If you need to, if you guys need it, I can post like a cheat sheet or something in the comments. So we go right close to the licker and look down, and he should miss us practically every time. You don't need to go wide. Now for here, depending on where these zombies are, we may need to do a shimmy. Okay, I did there anyway because I was scared. Okay, he got me. I couldn't see where he was. Usually, again, this is going a bit skewed because of we're getting scuffed checkpoints. They should both be at the bottom of the ladder after the explosion. The fact that he was dawdling over there on his own, I don't know what he was doing. But just beware that if you're going to try and get under an hour, or you're going to try and get 56 minutes like me or whatever, you are going to reset a million times in the RPD. You need to get through the whole RPD with no damage and like practically no one touching you, because it wastes too much time. And this is already a slow RPD for me because we've had checkpoints as well and whatnot. So again, we do the licker again, we look down, he's going to miss, no problems. That zombie fell down, that shouldn't happen, but whatever. Such a scuffed tutorial so far. And the zombie placement's kind of weird, but the zombie placement in the library is random anyway, so, well, within a few patterns. And this one is Lion. Oh, bug. bugger. Lion, weed, bird. Or lion branch, bird, lion branch, eagle, whatever. I'm still getting used to this strat of saving ammo and picking up that medallion last. I nearly went straight to the stairs. But again, big shout outs and thanks to Emerald Outlaw for just even helping me think of that idea. Because I was wondering, how can I do this and people can have ammo? Because people don't like to do it the way I normally do it with like 3 bullets through all of the RPD. So we're in here at 9:38, that's slow. I should be in here at like 9:17. But again, we're already behind anyway because of the memes and the tutorial part of the run. Now, here, if you turn right and go to the bottom of these stairs, I'm not going to collect it, but if you go down to the end of these stairs, underneath us there's a grenade on the floor, a normal frag grenade. If you want, or you struggle against G1, or you don't like the strategy that I'm about to use, where I'm going to just knife him and use one flashbang, some people just use the knife, but he lunges me more often than not, and because he grabs me and squashes my head and then I have to put a knife into him, not only do I lose a knife, but I also lose about 7 seconds from the grab. The flashbang and then me slashing the hell out of him will counteract that time loss. And because I don't have the frame rate, as we mentioned earlier, to just instantly down him. So on a base console, this is like a really hard fight because he can just grab you at any time. He doesn't get stun locked. So if you want to grab this grenade down here, feel free. I'm not going to pick it up because I still won't. It's not required for this tutorial. You will still have, if you follow everything that I'm going to do and everything that I'm going to pick up, by the time you get to G4, you will still have 2 or 3 grenades. Because hopefully you may not have, hopefully you haven't had to use any on any zombies or G adults or anything. But if you want, you can pick up this grenade now, and you can either use it on G1 at the start of the fight, and then knife him, and then flash him, or whatever. Or you could just keep it and bank it after G1. It's up to you, but I'm not going to grab it. But I want you to know that it's there. Oh, this has been so scuffed so far. The RPD has been terrible. But the patterns were not what I normally get either, so it was like, oh, you know, when I wanted to say about going to dodge that zombie and he's not there. Okay, so we go to the side where his big arm is, and we try and use the arc range of Claire's slash to get the most out of it here. Oh, bad. It's a bad fight. My angles are terrible. So what we're going to do here is when he brings the arm out, he's now going to try and lunge for a grab, so I'm going to throw a flashbang. And then here, we want to try and get, again, the best range of slash to hit his eye and his face. Like this. Now, usually you should stay on his big arm and just keep wailing on him until he dies. But if I stay on his big arm, because I haven't done enough damage yet, and some of my slashes at the start of this fight sucked, because of that, he is probably going to grab me. So to avoid grabbing, instead of continuing on the strong arm, I'm actually going to continue on his weak arm. Like that. And then that means he's going to go past and whiff me, and we finish the fight. So I'm going to load that again, and I want to try and just have another take at it, just without pausing and whatnot, so you guys can see. In one, like, fluid motion. I will try and do each boss perhaps sort of twice, 3 times, and G3 and G4 I'll probably have to do a few times, because to get my quick strategy against them, everything has to go smoothly, and it doesn't always. So lots of PBs ruined because of that. Because you kind of have to pray that they do the thing that you want, or they don't go against what you want them to do and just do something else. It's like, wow, okay, I rehearsed all this and you just went and done something completely different. Thanks for that. That's what G3 pretty much does all the time. Okay, so we run straight to him. We get on the side of his right arm and we slash away. And then we want to stay with him and follow him. Like this. This is a more accurate representation of how it goes. Then he brings out the big arm, and as I said, we're going to get another couple of cheeky slashes, and then throw the flash. Now that should give us enough time to get in on him here and down him. There we go. if you get the best slashes you can get, he's dead there, and you don't have to worry about this part. There we go. Now he's dead. Fantastic. Now we've still got all of our knives, and I'm going to show you your kind of first safety heal of the game, which is in here. I want you to get that after Birkin, so that when we go up against the lickers in a minute, you've got something in case they slash you and you don't want to have to reset. If you lose to Birkin, I kind of encourage you to reset and to just run RPD again, because chances are you'll get slightly better RNG, and you might get that one random zombie isn't there, Callahan might not be there, so RPD is worth rerunning over and over again. And like, because of the fact that you'll get different luck every time you run it, so it's worth a try. Now also, here, because we got that herb, we're a little bit behind for Sherry, so we're going to go on the outside. But you have to promise me, and I know Emerald Outlaw is sticking to this, you have to promise me that if you lose to her on them stairs and she cucks you, you have to reset. Because you cannot lose to Sherry there, it's just not on. Okay, so we're here at 11:10, that's kind of average for doing a little tutorial run. Now for this bridge, if you go to the connecting area here, you'll notice I can't run. So what I do is I wait for it to stop and then I run. But I do it from, it's a bad example, I do it from further back. So I kind of aim at the bridge as it's coming along, and then when I hear the sound cue for it donk, that's when I sprint, and then Claire, instead of running, stopping, running again, she'll be able to continually run the whole way. Now also for the sake of tutorial, and I use this in my run, we're going to pick up this inventory pack here. This will make sure that we can have safety heals, and there's a box there, so if you wanted to put that grenade away, you can. If you picked that grenade up. But if you didn't, it's no biggie, you shouldn't need it anyway. Now, we run boost after that cutscene, but I messed it up. Because I'm trying to... there's so many nuances to each area that I do it a lot by muscle memory. So when I stream this game, I just talk to people in chat while I'm just doing the run. But when it comes to actually explaining all the different things that we do, there's a hell of a lot. So because I'm thinking of explaining to you about this card key machine, and because of that, I messed up the run boost. But never mind. So if we approach this card key machine directly, we will get slowdown. So what we're going to do is you're going to aim for in between the card key and the cones, as if you're going to miss the machine. Like that. And then we'll have no slowdown. Okay, this is the next checkpoint, and I'm going to reload this one a couple of times because I'm going to show you the different outcomes here with the lickers. Now, if you've seen Ray's tutorial, then you know how to deal with this, but you can quick turn here, but don't quick turn the door. Look down and get close to this licker. Keep looking down the whole way. Then that one has to dive bomb. If you're not looking at him, he only has one attack available. He's only allowed to dive bomb. If you look at him, there's a chance that he could lick. Then as you come around this corner, hold X, and you will instantly latch on the draw, and count for 4.5 of the black lines, for the grout lines. Then here we skate, grab, and dash away straight away. I actually want that in my first slot. And again here, I'm going to show you the dangerous way first, which is taking the tight line here. And there I got blocked. Depending on what attack that second licker does, you can either skate past him and avoid him. He might jump back and you can dash past him. He might run past you on the stairs and just you've got a free run. But it is a bit RNG. So you can try and take that tight line if you wish, and it is quicker, but it's not as consistent. So the line that I'm going to show you now should, I'll say it and I'll get jinxed and I'll get hit, but it should be relatively safe and consistent to take against these guys. Sorry about the loading, but base console memes. Okay, so let's do this again. So again, you can quick turn this turn, but don't quick turn or shoulder barge the door. The door has to be smooth. Then this licker takes ages to turn around and he just whiffs. And then this one, you get past him no problem because he has to dive bomb. Sometimes if you're too slow, they will catch you up and slash you. But I don't think it's too slow. I think sometimes it's RNG as well. See there, we quick skated into the adjacent morgue drawer, not the one we pulled out. So instead of going directly to look at the key, I grabbed it from side, I skated, and as I did a quick skate, I picked up the key and then I held right, and that enabled me to dash like a quick turn because we were still mid-skate. So you skate, pick up, dash away, all at the same time. And that's nice, quick, smooth, and clean. Right, now my line for the lickers here is to take the right side. You go on the outside, but 9 times out of 10, they will whiff their attacks and you can get past them. Like that. Then this one, when we go around this next corner, there's a licker on the ceiling. Now, what you can do here is you can either look around the corner, shoot him, and then duck back round this corner, and he will fly into the mop and bucket in front of us, and then you can run off. But we're gonna do 7 Ray D strat. You can either look at the wall there as you're going around the bend, but that's very dangerous because the licker could turn you around and slash you if you don't know how fine you can cut it. So I advise you to look back on yourself, like look left as you go around this corner, and look at the mop and bucket there. And he jumps over and we run as soon as we hear him jump, and we see him visually jump over us. He's going to jump again, but he can't catch us, so don't worry about it. So you'll probably have to practice that a couple of times, but it's worth doing. Okay, let me just do it one more time. And also, if the camera is too high angled for that door, you won't get the prompt. You know, like how I explained, if you're looking too high up when you go to get on a ladder, they just won't. That prompt won't come up and she won't access that door. So right, now I'm going to, hopefully, without getting memed on, demonstrate this again, but in real time without that little pause on the corner for the last licker. So, we come around here, and it also helps, I encourage you guys to do this and just do save scum runs and practice these segments over and over. Especially this area, because this area is monk-ass. So there we quick latch. Oh, that herb is right in my way. So again, I'm going to stick on the outside here. I still may get hit. No, I didn't. You can also turn the camera to make them a bit more camera shy, and that will slow them down a little bit. There we go. Boom. Easy. And then the more confident you get at that last dodge, the more you can look at the wall instead of having to turn right round and look at the mop and bucket. So then here we hold left and shoulder the door. That's one of those instances where the camera angle lines up that I can shoulder through the door. Oh, I did it too late, but there we would quick skate to avoid slowdown. And if you get that one, it's quite noticeable if you can quick skate that one. Okay, so we should be at 13 or so minutes. 13:28, that's about right for tutorial. Leave that herb, we'll get that on the way back. If you got hit by those lickers, you've got a herb on you, so you can use it. And if not, then you're where we are now with a herb, so we're good. Quick turn there after that door to get a nice approach on this next corridor. Quick turn here to get a nice line for the bear pin. Quick skate, and then put that in your first slot. Dash away, because you're already still skating, so you can 180 for free. And then here again, we line up with behind Claire, and we shoulder the door, which dodges the wolf because of the animation. Turn this around. Then after she uses the key, I'm pretty much just aiming for the door while mashing sprint and run, sprint and X, like that. Okay, so here we're going to open this drawer, this locker, and this locker. And coming through here, there's 2 options here. If you fancy yourself as a good shot, you can headshot this next dude. Where to the right of this door, there's a cop zombie with a cap. Usually you headshot him, go in the room, grab the electronic part and the knife if you need it, and then leave, and you should be able to do it all fluently before he can reach the door. But say, for example, you may say you don't have ammo here, or you don't fancy yourself trying to do this quite fast shot, I'll show you what I would do for knife only instead. It's like a couple of seconds slower, but it's a kind of a little bit easier to do. So we pick up that electronic part, go to the door, he's blocking it. We go back to these boxes, then we dash through like we did with Callahan. Easy peasy. So what we've done is we run up to the door. Claire couldn't go through it because he was there. So I backed away into the, down right into my right shoulder behind me. I backed away into that angle, and there's a shelving unit which stops me from moving any further. So when he opens the door there, he opens the door and it misses me, and I can dash past him in the iframes. So grab the large gear, do not forget the large gear. Grab that flash. You see there we grabbed it again from nowhere near the correct place. But that's the beauty about the pickups. Now here we let go of sprint, we hold down, then sprint, and we get a nice clean turn. For this set of stairs, you quick turn here and stay on the left side of the stairs, and it seems to make the female zombie aggro a bit later. Like that. So staying on that side seems to keep her at bay, because otherwise sometimes she might be ready for us when we come back. But she's nowhere near this time, we're fine. I'm pretty sure it was Runewinter who, during her run, she mentioned that, and I tested it, and I found that seems to actually be the case. So kudos to Runewinter for kind of finding that strat. Okay, now here's a checkpoint, and I'm going to try and show you two different dodges for Mr. X. There's two different dodges you can do. One of them is going to get me punched in the face, and the other one is 7 Ray D's dodge, which will still get me punched in the face. So you're going to laugh at this point, this bit. So the first dodge I'll show you is we get right close to him, and we need to be able to judge his punching distance. Like that. Then we can run through him. So that's one dodge. You just shimmy a little bit, shimmy back when he whiffs, and then just run through him. That's one of the dodges you can do. There's another bit coming up with a liquor where I'm going to show you two dodges, and I have to reload from this checkpoint, so you're going to see these Mr. X dodges plenty of times, so don't worry. The next one is the 7 Ray D dodge. So what I do here is I stay close to this wall, and I aim here in between. You need to be looking at this wall, past the window, but not as far as the hole. So we need to be about here. Then we look and aim at Mr. X, and he should punch with his left hand, and we run through him like he's not even there. Now here, we've got no space for inventory, but if you need it, then if you really need it, and you have no herbs, pick up that herb there, and if you've got space, there's another one coming up. So you could have two safety herbs here if you really need them. I am going to delete my ammo, and I'm going to pick up that herb, because I want 2 herbs. So in the herbs that I'll show you, all these safety herbs that we're going to pick up are all within arm's reach while we're running, so we don't have to go out of the way to get them. So now I'm going to show you 2 different liquor dodges, one of which again being 7 Ray D's dodge, and the next one being my own. Well, no, actually, tell a lie. Both of these are 7 Ray D strats. So credit goes to him for these 2 dodges. I'm going to try the harder one first, but I might scuff it and get hit. But the plan is here, we're going to go out the door and run straight towards the vending machine, and then quick turn right and quick turn left and avoid the slashes, hopefully. So let's see if it works out. There we go. That's one way to do it. You need to listen out for his squeal, and then when it's a bit of practice and a bit of timing, because you can't really react to him. You have to like hear the scream, give it a second or two, and then preemptively dodge, and you'll find that you'll just do your dodges and you'll make him miss that way. So it's not like you're manually dodging him like if you could see him charging you. So this gives us enough chance to show the Mr. X dodge again. So we line up with the wall here, aim at him the whole time, and he should punch with the left hand, and we run through him. No fuss, no muss. Oh, that was a bad turn. Yeah, I'm not fussed about the ammo. Perhaps you could delete a knife if you need to carry those herbs. I don't need the ammo because I can save scum it, but you might need the ammo, and you definitely need to keep your flashbangs and things like that. So and everything else is practically key items. So you could get rid of your bum knife, perhaps, if you want to take that extra herb. So the other way is you glance over and look at the liquor, and then go through here. Now, if he did hit you, and you had to use a safety herb, there is another one there. Now, I've wasted too much time, and this might screw me over. What I'm going to do now is delete that spade key, pick up the jack, and fly back through the door. We want to try and get through here before Mr. X is here. Okay, now we're slow. So now I'm going to try and bait a punch from him. Oh, he hit me because I was too close. I'm no good at judging his distance, but never mind. Hopefully you'll do better than me there. But because I stopped and aimed at that herb to show you, that's why he was there. Hopefully, because I got the clean door transition, without showing you where that herb was, I would have got back here without him hitting me. He might have chokeslammed me through the door. He can either be in that room if you're too slow, further through that room if you're too slow, approaching where we picked up the jack from if you're even slower, or he could be at the door I've just come through and he could chokeslam you back into the room or outside of the room, or he may not be anywhere at all. He's a bit of RNG there, but... next thing we're going to do here is, I don't know who started this strat, but I know it from Ray and from Orch, is the pistol manip for the library. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shoot the clearing outside the library door. I'm just going to shoot the floor, and the zombies in the library are going to be attracted to the sound of the gunshot. So they're going to start walking towards the door, and it should give me free rein to move the bookcases. So we shoot there. Then these zombies should be heading towards that. It doesn't always work, it's not 100% consistent. Sometimes they just don't buy it and they just still come for you. But this should give you enough time to move this bookcase and then move it again. If you start to slide it the second time and you get bitten, the sliding animation will finish. And so even if you get bitten, as long as she started to move it the second time, it will still be complete. Now this guy at the end, this dude here, he's just round the corner. The two strats here are you can either headshot him and stun him, or you can kind of go close to him and bait him to run at you. And then if he lunges at you or he's stunned, he will not be there when you leave the clock tower. And if we have to reload, he won't be here either because he's not there on autosaves for some reason. So then we go and use this and hold forward and mash X while this cutscene is happening. You can't skip this cutscene. But then we will instantly pick that back up and then we can sprint away. If you hold sprint there, you'll get a funky turning animation. Now the clock tower is sticky for quick turns, and what I mean by that is these railings have like invisible walls that if you quick turn too sharply, you won't even make the corner and you'll get stuck on it. So I suggest using the movement or directional turns for this area so you don't get stuck. Approach this at an angle like that so that you don't get as much slowdown because she's still jogging, and then hold down left and sprint. And then you can get back out like that. Movement turn, and then skates. Hit this from the side. I forgot where my item was for a second. We can skip this cutscene, then we hold left and sprint away. I quick turn there, but you don't have to. Now I'm going to pray here that this guy's not going to grab me. I'm going to grab that safety herb. So again, because I go a bit ballsy, I don't stun him. If you don't like that guy and he happens to bite you a lot, he's a bit RNG there. He can either be asleep when I come out, or he could lunge straight for me, or I could get his back and he could just miss me. So if you don't like if you don't like chancing it, then I suggest just shoot him in the head and then go into clock tower. And then that'll mean he won't be here when you come back. But either way, pick up that safety herb as well. This next blue cop zombie, if he's back turned, he's free. Like that. So we're fine there. And this one has been memeing me a little bit. But this door here, we want to turn the camera, mash the U's, stay on the right, then go left. And it will make him whiff like that. Then we pick up ammo. So obviously, in my strat, I went all the way from the start of the game, obviously not in this tutorial, but in my runs, this is the first time I pick up some ammo. And we're like done with the RPD now. Well, that was a bad angle, but never mind. She wanted to hug that railing on the stairs for some reason. I don't know why. So go under or over for this examine. Don't go round, because obviously the boxes are shorter than they are wider, so it's quicker to go round like that. And then here, I'm just going to do this puzzle, but it's... Okay, now I'll explain it. You need to move this one, this one, this one, this one, and then this one 3 times. For a more in-depth breakdown of this puzzle, I'm going to link my electronic puzzle breakdown in the description, so you guys can check that out, where I take my time and fully explain which slots and which ones to move, rather than briskly doing it like I did there. So in case that wasn't in-depth enough for you, there will be a guide for that particular puzzle attached to this, for PlayStation as well. PC ones are a bit different because they can do it so much faster. Now, if you'll excuse me, this is my first little kind of rest and break segment. Right, now, when we get control of Sherry, what we're going to do here is we're going to hold back, then sprint. We're going to like run boost with her, and she's going to sort of turn and then turn back. She's going to turn and basically she's going to walk backwards. Like this. And then we can sprint forward straight away. She kind of turns and turns back on herself for some reason. I don't know why. Then we examine this. Now for this puzzle, the first block is always the third block. So first block always goes here. And then all you have to do is spin everything. There we go. That was a 1 turn. That was the best RNG in the world. Brilliant. That never happens. Don't expect that to ever... Like, that's happened to me like 3 times ever. When you come to cut this, head for the bunny head, the bunny picture on the right, and it should keep you close enough to be able to crouch under. I wasn't actually close enough there. But you can usually instantly be underneath. We're at 20 minutes. That's about right. When you come around this corner, hold X, probably about now, and she will auto-latch. And now this is the first part where we can talk about ledges and climbing. Don't sprint here. Don't sprint. Just press forward. Turn the camera this way and just press right, and she will instantly climb. If you sprint, she will treadmill into it like an idiot, and you'll be there like, come on, Sherry, why won't you climb? Why won't you climb? And that's why, because you're sprinting. So that's where I got the idea that for ledges and climbing, you should not sprint. Now, Sherry's movement is a bit of a meme like that, and she's a bit squirrely herself. She handles like a weird little truck or a little bus, but still. So she takes a little bit of getting used to for how stiff she is after playing as Claire. That was a slow door. Rip. And here I like to go around this side, and I like to run straight towards the chair and mash X and pick up that key from the side without slowdown. Now after this cutscene, we're going to hold right and then sprint boost. Like that. It's like right to diagonal up right into up kind of thing, because of the nature of an analog stick, it sways and turns into up when you turn the camera. So everyone knows obviously the different strats here, that you can either stand up the whole time or you can crouch and just hide. It's up to you. I'm going to do the standing strats because that's what I like to do as well. So, and to do this, when he comes to the door, all you need to do is hide behind these towels in front of us, and when he breaks that archway, we move behind the thermos. Then we just move to the thermos now, and then he won't see us when he breaks that. When he comes past, when he swipes the flashlight past me, then we're free to move. Normally you follow him round, but I mess around, I run over to this door. But don't go back into this clearing too quickly, because he's going to shine the torch there again. Like that. So just, if you come over here, make sure you wait out for that flashlight. You can stand here and in the corner and avoid him seeing you here, but I don't like it. So the one time I crouch is just for this one flashlight pass. Like that. Now we're good. Ah, Chuckshaw. Then what you do here is you don't need to go to the desks. You can go right behind this green thing, and you're going to see in a second he's going to look straight past us because he's an idiot. Now normally people hide under that broken desk there, or they hide in the corner there, which is where I used to hide. Well, what we're going to do here is we're already closer to getting the key, and I may have to reload to try and show you because I want to get this right. But as I mentioned earlier, we're going to sprint for the key, we're going to let go of sprint, pick up the key, then hold down and then sprint away, and we should get the same as when we come off a ladder. We should get a nice 180 turn if we do it correctly. There's also a spot here behind this green block that for some reason has a weird like zoom if you stair skate and crouch. I don't know why it does this. There's a spot behind the thermos that does it as well, the flask thermos over there. I don't know why that is a thing, but it is, so yeah. There we go. Otherwise you get stuck in that door and you lose time there. So yeah, and that was practically the end of the sherry segment. We sherry shake down the stairs, which is a little bit quicker. Just mash X here for these doors and hold forward and keep mashing X. There we go. And then here, again, we're going to turn and then sprint when we're able to. Like this. Then we get a nice line coming off there. Otherwise she rubs into the wall and just, she scrapes her face along the wall otherwise if you hold sprint. Good to see you again, Claire. Sorry for the drinking ASMR, by the way. I hope that the camera, you've been able to see my inputs while I've been doing this. Hopefully I don't veer off shot too much. I try not to. Just when I can, I'll try and look and keep myself in the frame. So here, right, where's the card going? Second slot down. So this gate is awkward, so just turn your, like, physically move and turn the camera, then sprint, so that she shoulder barges the gate. Otherwise you get memed on by that gate there. And again here, keep the camera behind her and shoulder the door so that we get a nice line coming out and we don't hit that armoire. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this safety herb. Now we've got 4 safety herbs on the way out of here with the potential of getting a 5th if you need it. You can always delete them later if you're not using them, but if you're just starting to learn these runs or you get memed on in the sewers or something, it's worth just having a couple of safety herbs. Even in my 56-minute run, I picked up quite a few safety heals. So it is doable, as long as they're on your path and they're not too far out of the way. And then, oh, down, I didn't register my input. Left and sprint. Here what we do is we just go to the pillar and aim, and you've got plenty of time. As soon as he moves, just run. You can react to his whiff. There's the next herb if you need another one. Right, now I'm going to show you this whole next section as if we've got no ammo. Like, I do actually luckily still have 8 shots, or 8, 9, 10, 11 shots, but just for the sake of you might have run out of ammo by now, I'm going to show you how to try and deal with this whole area without any ammo. So you can either headshot this guy or wait and he'll lunge inside the fence like that. Just run up and touch the fence and stop. If you quick turn at the top of a set of stairs like that, you get like a phantom quick turn where she still kind of makes a motion but she doesn't get the 90-degree right turn. I still don't know what that's about, but it happens to me sometimes and you just saw it there. So here we just want to stay on the left and skate down quite fast to get past Misty. Now this is the dog section. The dogs are a pain. Because I'm going to do a slow dodge for the zombie on the bus, the dog after the bus is probably going to nip me. But it's no issue. It's only like a momentary time loss and I've got plenty of heals. There is another heal over there, but that's quite a bit out the way, and I like to think that I've shown you some ones that are quite easy to get. Now this dog in front of us, let's talk about this guy. This guy, man, what a dog this guy is. He has different types of things that he will do. He will either stand at you with his ears up, looking at you, and then he will run at you quite late, or he will instantly run and jump straight at us, which I think he's going to do with this pattern, or he will kind of look at you as you run past him and he'll do nothing, or he'll look at you as you run past him and then he'll react and he'll be far too late. So it's a bit RNG as to what you get, but what you want to do here is you want to aim for, you want to go in between this doggo and the back of the police car on the right. So just sway to the right here like that, and that's enough. You don't need to quick turn or anything. Just veering out of the way is enough. So we're going to quick turn here, pick up this grenade, and now normally you'd headshot this guy, but remember we don't have any ammo, right? So this is the knife only dodge. You bait a lunge, you back away, and you quick turn forward. Then skate and quick turn, and you should avoid the well, he was in a different place there anyway. That's fine. If you're on a base PlayStation, he's going to hit me. Wow, what a pause. Okay, he's going to hit me. But if you're on a base PlayStation, this orphanage needs to load. So this is where I do another pause buffer, because when I get to these gates, sometimes Claire stands there and for like 2 or 3 seconds and the cutscene doesn't happen. And sometimes it even comes up with a loading screen. But wow, how close to my face. If this misses, I'll be shocked, but this is going to hit me right in the face, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to sink a knife into him. So this area is screwed up. So I'm going to reload the checkpoint, because I can. But just know that you could just sink a knife into him there, or take the hit. You've got the heals. It doesn't matter. I'm a bit finicky, and I want to get through there clean. So, but also I want you to see perhaps that dog that I explained after the gate. Perhaps he might have a different position now. So I'd like to be able to show you a different pattern. That's why it's worth, just because you could run through here once and get a clean pattern, practice each area like 5 times. Each segment, each checkpoint, practice multiple times so you're aware of what can happen in any given area. Where are we? Oh, we're back here. Okay, cool, that's fine. So again, we aim at him, wait for him to start his animation, and then he won't hit you. It's fine. Then line yourself up with this line here, so we get a nice straight... Oh, I just didn't want to scuff that car. Good old analog stick movement. And then just keep a nice traditional line through here. Don't get too close to this car, because I think there's a bit of slowdown if you do. But then you can also here use your other hand for the analog stick, and then use your left hand for the weapon wheel if you want to shoot this guy. Just to help you get a shot on. But that little dodge there is the knife only dodge. We'll do a movement turn at the top of the stairs, just so we don't get a phantom quick turn. Friendly neighborhood umbrella. Ding! Definitely giving it a sin for having that sign. Again, if we let go of sprint on that ledge or on that bin, because I wasn't sprinting, she instantly climbed off. Sometimes she will run at the end and then climb off at her own leisure. These dogs will never bite you. They've never bitten anyone. These are like scripted. The same as this dog coming up that's on the fence here. He doesn't really do a lot either. It's only the other 2 that you have to worry about. So this one, he's going to derp. Yep, that's fine. So again, you saw a different pattern for him there. So again, I'm going to try and dodge this guy. See there, he does 1 lunge, okay? If you're on hardcore, the zombies can do double lunge. So he would have lunged at me twice, and when I turned to go through him, he would have grabbed me. So it's worth noting. You might see that later on in the labs. Oh, scuffed. Wow, strain to danger from a bite. That's crazy. It's because I got stuck on the railing. There's so many weird obstacles, and because the characters are so clunky and the movement is kind of whack, especially on an analog stick, like I said, the range in which you could sway and accidentally hit a diagonal, like you can easily clip a diagonal and not want to, and that's when that happens. Or sometimes you'll be running forward and you'll just happen to like clip it a little bit left, and then Claire will literally just lunge left for no reason. You're like, okay, I was trying to run straight. It doesn't matter where you go. You can go around by the mini if you want, but I like to just go this side. Oh, he got me because I waited too long. Okay, let's try and actually get this whole segment without getting memed, please. For such an easy segment, this is a big run kill, this whole area, because he could punch you if you screw it up. The dog could nip you and put you in danger, and if you're not carrying, if you're trying to PB and you're trying to go for like really fast times, then you're not carrying any herbs at this point. So the dog biting you is really disastrous. There we go. That's why, again, for the sake of this tutorial, the purpose of this is for you guys to get less than an hour, which you will do with plenty of health, plenty of flashbangs and grenades for bosses. So you should be able to keep your steez intact, as Darkness would say, the whole time. This dodge sometimes doesn't always work, and sometimes he just comes out and gets you, but it's relatively consistent. I've had him come out the door and grab me once. I apologise for rerunning some of these areas like this, but it's just because I'm picky as well. I don't want to take the bite there. Not when I've got access to autosaves and I don't have to take the bite. I'd rather get through the whole game and still have 4 herbs left at the end, you know? Well, I won't, because I won't have the inventory, but you get the idea. Sorry, I got a bad line there because I had to itch my nose. Another bad line because I'm trying to stay in the camera. Trying to concentrate on too many things. Like, I'm trying to explain what I'm doing and keep my hands in the view of the camera. Oh, slow gate. He's going to charge at me now. No, he's not. Good. Okay, for the sake of time, you've already seen this dodge a couple of times. I'm going to headshot this guy. Oh, even better. Oh, he went late. My god, he's supposed to go for you. You see how I quick turned off the bus? He was derping as well. That's fine. I'm going to take this one and move on because I don't want to keep redoing this segment. If I get bitten again, then I will redo it. But anyway, so you get close to this door, and usually it didn't actually count there, and we got the cutscene straight away. But normally I have to pause that just before the door so that I can get this cutscene without any loading. That time it actually worked okay. If you're on a pro console, you don't have to pause buffer that. But I've had her before standing, and it's on some of my PB runs, where she's just stood there leaning against the door and the cutscene doesn't happen, and then dogs just attack me like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, hello, could I get through this door now? It happens. So this bit's pretty straightforward, just movement. And here, pan your camera to look at this ladder as you go for it so that you don't miss it. And let go of controls here, and when you're at the bottom, left and sprint. And then you can just go forward, because the camera's already looking the correct way. And then here, just quick turn after the cage, and you're already lined up for the next corridor. Like that. Now we should be, as she says, Hayaku. Yep. Keep going. Now after this cutscene skip, we're going to be at a weird angle, but you just need to hold left and sprint. Or, sorry, left, then sprint. So hold left, sprint. It's hard to time that one because the loading takes a little bit longer. Now I'm going to smell like shit, literally. So we should be at 28 minutes here. Yeah, that's about right. We're a minute behind my kind of best time, but if you're landing here between 29 and 30, then you're fine. You'll still be able to finish the game in an hour. And these are what I call the hunk stairs. We quick turn after this door to get a side dash like that and get momentum. And then these are the hunk stairs, which I used to run hunk, so I'm very familiar with. And in here, I'm going to show you the S dodge. Normally, in this next room, there's 2 guys. And what you could do is you can either headshot the first one and just run past the second one, or go along with, I know I headshotted the guy on the bus, but going back with our previous theme of you didn't have any ammo, Remember, I did that segment like 3 times. I was allowed to shoot him that time. If you still didn't have any ammo here, then you can do this. Just keep it nice and wide. There's enough for them to lunge for you. That is easier than it looks. It probably looked quite easy too. You might have thought that was a bit like dangerous, a bit Monk-S. Perhaps I'm good at the spatial awareness, so I know that they're not going to grab me. But once you've done that little S dodge a few times, it's really easy. Now here, this is where I differ from other runners in my strategy, because we're going to go right, and we're going to use the box, and we're going to get rid of the heart key and the diamond key. If you need ammo and you ran out, there's some here. There, we got the quick skate, so we didn't get slowed down. I've already still got ammo, so we're fine. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to rearrange your inventory. Well, you don't have to, but I really encourage you to do this. It's to, like, at any other point up until now, you were kind of free to have your inventory however you want and however you find more comfortable. Usually when I do a run, I move my gun and my knife all the way to the last slot, so that all my medallions and my detonator and everything all go in early, so that I can quick use them. And you're going to do the same. Like you kind of need to do the same thing here, but I find it's more important here. And this is the strat that I class as 3 open slots. So when you get to this bridge, you want to make sure you've got 3 open slots like that. So then when we're going to get the T-bar and the rook first, the rook key. And then we're going to go and get the king and queen and the spark shot. I may have to delete a herb or 2. So go past the T-bar and get it from the side, and then 180 yourself back. There is a red herb there if you need it and you want to combine it. I'm not going to pick that one up. I never do. But it's just there because you've got all these safety herbs. If you want to combine it, you can. Now here, there's 3 different strategies you can do just from this segment alone. You see here, there's a yellow jacket guy there. There's also a zombie to the left of the stairs who we can't see, who's going to lunge into shot when we get there. Now, you can either run to the bottom of these stairs and throw a grenade, and there's another zombie off screen too. You can either get to the bottom of these stairs and throw a grenade and kill all 3 of them, but that will raise your DA too high. Now, I haven't actually managed to go over this yet, but the reason I haven't is because it's not really been terribly important for console runners because we can't measure it. But this game has DA, which is difficulty adjustment. And that is in and of itself where if you do well at the game gets harder and punishes you for it. If you hit your shots and you pick up ammo and you pick up heals, your DA goes up. And when you miss shots, like you just whiff gunshots, you didn't, oh, I missed him, I hit him, the 3 missed shots will lower the DA slightly. The game has something like it's got like ranks, and standard is usually rank 4 or 5, 4,000 to 5,000 points. Hardcore is rank 9 and starts at 9,000 points onwards. So we start this run at 4, I believe, 4 or 5. And when we get to G3, we're at like rank 7, and he changes to rank 8 at the end of that fight. So that's why you might find, especially when he transforms into final phase, he kind of goes apeshit and he tanks a lot of damage, but because of the DA as well. We're not aware of this as much on console because we don't get to see it. But on PC, they can have the speedrunning tool and they can show the health and the DA and everything. You've probably seen it if you've watched Ultra or anyone like that. So anyway, if you throw a grenade here and kill these 3 zombies with 1 grenade, not only does it waste 1 of your grenades, but it is a nice safety strat because you don't have to deal with these guys. However, it will raise your DA quite a lot higher. So when you get to G3, you have to do additional damage to him. On this run, we're going to get to G3 and we're going to use a strategy that I know, and it's going to be fine. On my practice save, because I grenaded these guys, my DA was higher. So if I do the strategy against G3, he won't die. And I need to actually knife him another 5 times on the early part of the fight. So yeah, with that being said and the DA out of the way, so you've got one strat is run down and grenade these 3 guys. That's the easy way, but it makes it harder for you later. The second strat is to skate down on the left side of the stairs and then dip to the right past the yellow vest guy. Or skate to near the bottom of the stairs and headshot this guy. Like that, and stun him, and then you should... Oh, I was scuffed the wall. You should be able to get through there without getting picked off. I would say personally, it doesn't matter anyway, because then you get that heal there, so it's fine. Like, that heal is there for that. But now they're still alive, and if you've got ammo and you've got ammo to spare, what you can do here is you can shoot them in the legs before this gate opens and try and like take them down to one leg if you can. But then they're a bunch of memers. They have a couple of random patterns. When we come back in a minute, they'll probably be back turned, and I can just run past them and get on the ledge. They won't be that much of a trouble. Once you get used to the positions they can be in, then you'll be fine. Now, moving on to this next section, do not, after you go through this gate, do not fire a single bullet at all. Because there's a zombie upstairs that if you fire a bullet, we're going to manipulate him and then, like, unintentionally manipulate him, and he will be blocking our way for the key. But as you're going to see in a minute, he's not going to be there. Touch this rock, then you can go over to the opening. That's the 7-ray D strat. And if you're not very good with G-adults, and you tend to get grabbed by these guys, there is a blue herb here on the left. If you think you're going to get grabbed, you don't really want to use your grenades because we want to keep them. Knives don't really work on them because they recover quicker than you do, so by the time you get to run, he can grab you again. So for that, you may end up just taking the bite and taking the grab and getting poisoned. So pick up the blue herb and combine it with one of your safety herbs so that you've got a get out of jail free card. I'm using autosave, so it doesn't matter, and as long as I play this correctly, they shouldn't hit me. Now, when this opens and I run through here, we're going to listen out as we get into the elevator, and if we hear this G-adult going, and I can't really replicate the noise, but if you hear it spitting out babies into the water, it will not be here when you get back, and I can guarantee that. I've tested it over 10 times. Even if we don't hear anything, there's a chance he might not be here anyway, but there's like a 50-50 chance he may be gone, or he's just going to be still here loitering around. But if you hear it spit babies, he's hella gone. I didn't hear that, so he may or may not be there when we come back. This is a side pouch. Grab it from side on, aim straight for the door, keep mashing X, get the quick door. And now, because we haven't fired a bullet, this yellow jacket guy is nowhere to be seen, so we can pick that up through this door, do a left, grab the ammo from the side, quick skate for the lift, and then away you go. They couldn't do a thing. Then here, so if he is still here, which he is, we're going to shoot him once or twice, and he should then submerge, and we can run off. Easy peasy. Now these two memers, they're back turned, so they're going to dash for me, so I'm going to go wide. But they're free otherwise. Claire, could you please climb? Thank you. This guy is going to be here when we come back, so be aware of him. Just remember he's there. Kind of use this T-bar from the side as well, so that when we hold the run boost after this little kind of cutscene, we're already going through the door instead of running into that obstacle. Like this. So now I'm going to do an inventory thing here as well, where I'll move the T-bar to the bottom and the rook to the third slot. We need these two open. Look down for the ladder, let go of sprint, hold down as she turns, then you can sprint and get that clean 180. Let go of sprint to climb the ledge, re-sprint, let go of sprint to jump the ledge, re-sprint. Now this guy here, he is submerged in the water. And what we're going to do is we're going to get relatively close to him, but safe enough that he can't get us. We're going to shoot him to bring him out of the water to bait him, and then we're going to run round him. Now, if you were doing knife only, just for argument's sake, I say these things because I run knife only. If you were happening to run knife only, you can like just go ballsy and just run round him, and when he comes out of the water, he will push you out of the way. Like, but there's a chance he could still grab you if you're too slow. So we're going to go to this corner here, and then we're going to shoot him. He's going to come out, and then we're going to go round him nice and safe, and then head for this clearing. So there's a G-adult on the left of Claire's head right now, and to the right there's that mud wall. If you touch that mud wall, if you scuff it at any point, once you get past it, go wide, because if not, this thing will grab you. If you do not touch the wall, you don't have to go as wide, but there is a chance that he will still have a wide grab anyway. So if you're new to this part and you're just learning this part, like you're just learning the run and you're just learning how to speedrun this part of the game, I would suggest to always go wide. Like this, and then we definitely avoid it. Better safe than sorry, because that could have been a 10-second grab with a poison, and then Claire coughs and we have to heal. We don't want any of that. If you didn't pick up that blue herb earlier and you got poisoned there, fear not, because there is a red herb there, and there is a blue herb further into this room. So go here, pick up the queen, it goes into the first slot. Turn away, quick turn, there's your blue herb, by the way, if you need it. Then mash the queen into this door, hold down left and go into this door. Skate up these stairs and grab the king here from the side, like that, while still sprinting. Get off the ledge. Now this dude, if he gets up and he's kind of back turned, we can run past him. If he's lying on the floor and his legs are broken, we can do both journeys past him. And if he's looking at us on either journey, we're going to have to just headshot him and stun him. But just be aware that if he's back turned, he is free. So he's not. I'm going to shoot him. Brilliant. I was a bit slow there, but I wanted to make sure I had the shot. Mash the king, because it's in our first slot. And then I'm going to delete a herb, pick up the spark shot, put it down there, turn around, grab the king, see where this dude is, headshot him, quick turn out of here, grab the queen, it will go into the second spot. Then when you get to this one, right once and then X and X again for the queen. Skate into this one and mash X for the king. Run back, grab the queen, 180 away. Quick turn, and then away you go. Now, not only have I routed the inventory for that room, the way that I position the keys and whatnot, but also I've routed it for the next puzzle so that we can just practically do a quite simple, like, mash X for one, and then right X, X for one, right X for another, and they're all pretty simple to use, and I'll explain when we get there. The G embryos here are quite random in their position, but if you aim at this one like this, it will lift its snout up and you can run past it this side. That's pretty guaranteed. These ones are just going to be messing around over there. There's no G embryos here, they're only here on B. I'm going to tell you about, but I'm not going to reload it to show you because I had good RNG there. There's a G adult coming up here, and there's 3 different strats that you can do. When he you can run straight to him and spark shot him and then take the tight corner. But if you want to keep the spark shots, you can run halfway up to where this zombie is, so that he comes out of the water, and then run back and then run forward like we did with the zombie on the bus. We just wait for the G adult to miss his attack, and then we run over it. Or the most common one is to just run to this ledge, walk along here until he whiffs his attack. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, we are going to do it again. I pressed forward. I didn't want to do that. You cannot press forward because otherwise she will instantly walk off the ledge. Alright, maybe we are going to go for bad RNG then, because I messed up. In a way, it's quicker and safer to probably spark him, but I also find it quite dangerous because if you miss the shot, you're getting grabbed. So, like, I think if you hit his hand, he can still grab you. You need to like hit his body. So let's see what we get here. But hopefully I can aim manipulate this guy again if I need to. So got the same RNG practically. So he's doing the same thing. Now we can go this side, and it's always this side of him, just so the babies come out the other side of him. So if you try to go the other side of him, there's a chance you'll get like bitten in the foot and poisoned. So don't do that. So let's try this again. It's like I try to move along the ledge but not walk off of it. Now walk off of it. There we go. So yeah, there's, like I said, there's like 3 dodges you can do there. Now here, when we come back, at the top of these stairs, remember the zombie I said for you to keep an eye out? Like to remember about him? He's going to lunge at us. So we're going to stay to the right of these stairs, but at the top of the stairs there's some oil drum barrels. Don't rub into them. You don't want to rub into those, because if you scuff those, he will grab you. The 2 zombies that we dealt with earlier, the pool party boys as they're called, they'll either still be over by that ledge, or there's a chance that the yellow vest guy will be on the stairs. And if he is, he will be on the right of the stairs. So take the stairs kind of wide, like late, and then get on the left side of the stairs. So right side and then left side. The right side of these stairs, they're both over there, we're fine. That means we can take it tight and just go. I visually confirmed that he was there. So that's fine. And now we're coming up to G2. Optional ways on how you want to get through that door. You don't have to do this, but I suggest that you bank this T-bar, because then we get some inventory space. Now here, I'm gonna do this all live as I go, and I'm gonna try and explain like I did with the King and Queen puzzle before. If it's too fast, I'm sorry. Feel free to either watch it again or watch me on a slower speed so that you can understand me, because I do talk quite fast. Now, and it helps if you know the answers to these puzzles, obviously. Because the way that I lined it up, where I took the Queen out last, that means she's first in my inventory. So I can go here and mash the Queen, then run to the next one, pick up the Bishop, mash it, right once, use the King. Turn away, go to the middle one, skate into it, pick up the Knight, activate it, right twice, use the Rook. Dash right, right once, use the Knight. Then dash left and mash X for the Bishop, and you're done. And when you know where they all go and you line it up with that inventory, that's why I have my inventory set the way that I do. Now for the labs, we're gonna, if you don't already have one and maybe you've already used it, pick up that blue herb. Pick up this green herb. If you've got enough herbs on you at this point, if you've still got 2 or 3 before this fight, leave that one until after G2, because you'll come back out here and you can grab it then. So if you're in danger after that fight, you can just get that heal after the door. I pick it up there because if all goes well, I shouldn't need to worry about it. But now, as well, if you were paying attention at the start of the RPD, when we got the bolt cutters and we went into the, which side is it? Where East office, we diverted and we picked up that first flashbang. Then we picked up the valve and then the fuse, and then we ran off. And then later on, when we got to the detonator, we picked up a second flashbang. Pardon me. And we used one on Birkin. And then later on again in the RPD, we picked up a third flashbang in that top locker before we went down and met Mr. X. So at this point, we've now got 2 flashes on us. And we get one in this fight as well. So there's a red herb here. I suggest, if you're new to the run, I suggest picking it up so that you've got a full heal. I'm going to pick it up anyway. Do you know what? I'm going to pick it up because I need it. I need it to mix with these because we need 1 full shield heal for later in the game. And then here, this switch has slowdown, so approach the door. And the answer is 1, 2, 4. And now here I'm going to use a bit of an obscure strat, which, well, it's not obscure now because everyone does it, but it's hard to perfect and it's hard to time it. So I'm going to do it a little bit slowly to show you and explain it as I do it. But if I run straight to that blue door, Birkin is going to put his hand through the ceiling in a scripted kind of cutscene. When he does this, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and run to the door, throw a grenade into the middle of this room, and he counts as above the ceiling for some reason. His hitbox is above the ceiling. It's like the ceiling's not even there. When the grenade goes off, it should damage him enough so that instead of punching through the ceiling a further 5 times near the door and annoying you and wasting time, that grenade should damage him enough to speed him up and get him straight to the shutter. And the way I do this is I look at this oil slick here and the yellow tube, and I throw the grenade in the middle and then dash backwards so he punches through at the same time. Then that should give us the timing. We heard the roar, that means he's here. Now here, there's 2 different types of strat that you can do. Like, by all means, there's loads of other boss strategies, but I'm showing you obviously the way that I like to do it and what I think is quite easy for beginners, because I'm not the best speedrunner, but I think these strats are relatively easy to do and semi-easy to replicate once you've practiced them. They don't always go to plan, and the only reason they don't is because of Claire's spark shot is so bloody inaccurate. So if you miss by 1 millimeter and you don't hit the Birkin eyes, you're screwed and you won't do enough damage. So what we're going to do here, you have 3 options. When he comes through this shutter, we can either shoot him in the eye straight away, run past him a little bit, then turn around and shoot him in the back, in the eye, and fully charge it, or run all the way downstairs. Most people just run downstairs. But what we're going to do is I'm going to shoot him in the eye now, like this, and I'm going to turn and walk my way out the door. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my controller on screen. Get the full charge, and then run away. Because we've hit him and he's been caused to attack on this corridor, now even with my crappy movement here, he won't be right behind us. So we're free now to get down here, and he won't jump down just after us either. We're free now to get this switch and pick up the knife and the flashbang here. And then what you want to do is immediately switch to your flash, and when he lands, flash him. Now we're going to go behind him and aim for that eye. Back away as you do it in case he swings straight out of it. If that goes off properly, he goes down. Fantastic. Then what we're going to do is we're going to throw another flashbang, and again hit the eye. And there he goes down. Then we hit this, and he should be dead. If... Oh, sorry, I was off camera. If he... As long as the shot upstairs, the first shot on his back eye that we did when he broke through the door, as long as that shot was clean and we didn't miss, he's dead right now. If that shot was a millimeter out, he is like 2 HP away from dying, and he'll survive this. But if I've done that right and I haven't missed, then he is dead. 3 full spark shots, 2 flashbangs. And when he goes down like that, and we've already activated it, we've got plenty of time. He will never get up and be able to get you in the time that this reaches you. So there you go, he's dead. We didn't miss. That one takes quite a lot of practice to... And you'll see that when I flashed him, he's like looking around like oh, groggy. And as he's swaying back and forward, I aimed on his back, and I'm just patiently waiting and taking my time to take the shot. You've got about 7 or 8 seconds of him being flashed. So that's where you stop, you stand still, you get that shot on target, and you fire. And then you charge it. Because it's worth just taking that extra 1 or 2 seconds to not miss. We started that fight at like 36, it's now 38. So we're on par for schedule, but we're way behind what I want to be. If you didn't get the herb, get it now. Like, I want to be here at 36 usually when I kill him. So 38:27, that's still on par for under an hour. That's fine. Even if you're at 40 minutes here, you're still good, don't worry. The way that the time is saved is because if you practice these strategies for the bosses, Birkin 1 takes less, he takes 45 seconds with my strategy. G2 takes, from when you open the door to when you kill him, takes 2 minutes and 5 seconds. G3 takes between 1 minute 50 and 2:20, depending on if it goes well. And G4 takes anywhere between 45 seconds and 2 minutes, depending on how well you do. I didn't point out, but you can movement turn or directional turn while carrying Sherry, just by, as usual, holding forward, letting go, and slamming a direction. So like, bam, and you can movement turn with Sherry. And I'll show you again when we get off the gondola here. This does nothing, you just have to wait for this cutscene. Okay, you don't actually have to sprint here, she will still run. But what, yeah, so I'll show you, you can... Oh, that was a bad turn. Got a diagonal. So you can quick turn like that with her, using a movement turn. Stand clear until doors are fully open. For your safety, please stand clear until doors are fully open. Welcome to Nestu. And if by any strange miracle you really fancy yourself that you need the... Oh, pick up the wristband, put that in the first slot for now. If you really need the grenade launcher for any reason, it's there. If you don't pick up the shotgun or the grenade launcher in the RPD, the game will give it to you here, whether you like it or not. You don't have to pick it up, but it's there for free. Saves you having to do the puzzle for it in the RPD. You can just wait and get it for free now. But if you're following my strategies, it's dangerous. It's more dangerous and it's faster than using the grenade launcher, so you'll get a better time, but it's not as safe, obviously, because you can stun G3 with acid rounds, and you can just do the whole fight with acid rounds and you can't move. That is one strat, but it's not strat that I use. So here what we're going to do is I'm going to explain this before we get here. But I'm going to shoot this blue panel on the door, and there's a zombie the other side of it, and it should bait him to walk into the door like an idiot. Then I'm going to turn right into the green door here. I'm going to come back on myself and pick up a grenade, and then I'm going to run forward, pick up the spark ammo, and then reload the spark shot as we run through the room, and then get on the ladder. And I want to explain that all to you now so that it will make sense when I'm about to just go and do it. So we go in, we get this grenade, turn away, don't let that guy grab you. Spark ammo is there. Change to your spark shot and reload. You'll still have one left over, but don't worry about it. If ever there, you may, if you've missed a shot before now, like say you missed one on G2, then like you just happen to just randomly miss one, then you will have 7 exactly here, and you won't have 8. Because I've got 8, I've got that slot taken up, which is kind of annoying. But it will come in handy because I might need it for IVs or something. It just depends on what comes first, IVs or inventory memes. It depends what I need. I will delete accordingly, depending on what I need. There's a spare knife there if you need it. See that? He's derping into that door because we shot it. So we combine that with the key card, and then here is the upgrade for Spark Shot. Make sure you get that. Get ready with a pistol, because he might be ready. I would suggest, even though he's free, headshot him and then run past him. Just to make sure he's stunned. Stay away from that door so that they don't come out and attack you, but they pretty much won't. It's pretty free. Quick skate into that just to stop slowdown. Sorry for peeking the mic there. This bit's pretty straightforward, just follow as I've done, obviously, and open this bridge. And then we head to the east area. Now this is the most dangerous part in the game. Ever since even arriving here, the game itself rose in difficulty, and behind the scenes it got more difficult. So we're going to see in a bit, I'll show you a couple of zombies that will double lunge at me, which is usually only exclusive to hardcore. But on a speedrun, because you're doing so well at the game is like, wow, what the hell, and it tries to ramp up the difficulty. So don't worry about these 2 IVs, just run straight past them. As long as you don't hang around, they can't get you. And then grab this flash. Now we still have 2 flashes, which is exactly what we need. The answer to this is 2067 and 3123, if you look at it like a mobile phone. Let me run over here. If I got inventory, I haven't, so I'm going to delete that slot. And then I'm going to pick up this dispensable cartridge. You might have already missed a spark shot, or you might have used one on a G-Adult, so you'll have less spark ammo than me here. I have obviously not used any spark shots really, so... And then here, you want this to be your first item slot. In the labs, you want that to be your first item slot. You want the wristband second, and the modulator is going to be third. If you need it, there's a red herb there. And just to be safe, better safe than sorry, I want you to come over here and waste a bit more time but pick up this grenade. So now we've got 3 grenades. And then we can use this from the side on and just mash it. And the answer to this is red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green. But you can also, when you do this, use red, tap left for green, and then hold right to jump all the way to blue. Tap left for red, tap left for green, hold right to go all the way to blue. Tap left for red, tap once for green, and X obviously to use. So yeah, it's when you're from green and you want to go all the way to blue, you can hold it and it just goes blub and jumps across. But for singular ones, you have to just press and use, press and use. So I'm taking my time on some of these things to explain these to you, so we're like way behind at the moment actually. Or I am anyway. I should be at 41 there. I'm like 3 minutes behind. So pop that guy. Spark him if you need to. So this is where the most of the redos are going to come up, because this is now the hardest part in the whole game. We've got to deal with the lab lickers and 2 annoying zombies, and the lab lickers are quite relentless, and I'm going to try and show you a couple of ways, or a couple of their patterns, and I'm going to show you the pattern that you want to look out for, or I'm going to hopefully try and show you the ideal pattern that you want to look out for, and you will probably see a couple that are really bad as well, because the lickers will just do something crazy. So we go through here, and with that newly acquired grenade, we're going to lob it at these 3 zombies there. That will blow them up. Come along here, hug the right wall, and look up. Oh, he still got me. I wasn't close enough. If you're close enough to the corner, if you look up, he should never be able to get you. He should never lick you. Usually, like, I used to look down, but then he started to lick me, so I changed it to looking up, and I got through there like 6 times in a row. But because I wasn't close enough when he spawned, he managed to get a free lick on me, which was a bit cheap. But it's fine. Now these stairs, we're going to go up, turn, go up, turn, go up, and turn. The first turn you can take tight. The second turn, there's like an invisible wall. It's sticky like the clock tower, so you have to go wide a little bit. And the third turn you can take tight. So you can take that one tight. This one a little bit wider. And this one you can take tight. Right, now have I got inventory memes? Yeah. Okay, good. So, modulator in the 3rd slot. And then here, the strat is, if you've got 2 flashbangs here, which if you followed everything that I've done, you should have, you throw 1 flashbang over the side of the stairs here to deal with these 2 memers, because otherwise these guys are going to be double lunging. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So normally you would try and bait him. There was his double lunge. So you have to be wary of that when you try and do your dodges. So normally you would use a flashbang there if you don't fancy doing that strategy. If you're comfortable with doing what I just did, then just do what I just did and save yourself a flashbang. That extra flashbang you could perhaps use on G3 if he starts to become a pain. But here is now the dreaded lab lickers. Provided everyone died from my grenade, which I think they did, stay on the left side and look down, and they should be on the floor. When we go past them, we either go in front of both of them like I did there. Usually one is a bit quicker and you go in between them. Now when we're running away, we want them to jump on the ceiling, and then we're going to throw a flashbang. Okay, one of them did. If they're on the ceiling, they're stunned for a lot longer. This puzzle is Murph, 2 and 4, if you think of them like clock faces, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Oh. I memed myself, I didn't use it. Okay, now I'm going to get hit because I wasted too much time. Dodge that guy. Keep looking, keep them on camera the whole time. There we go. Now we're good. So that was one pattern. And that's also one trip. We have to go back through them yet. And then you've got a choice of whether maybe you should full heal. This is why you've got this full heal here. Perhaps you might need to fully heal here and go into fine, because these guys are a joke. You might have got hit there. Sometimes they can be on the ceiling and dive bomb you, because if you're looking down, that's the only attack they're allowed to do. Sometimes they will whiff the dive bomb and you're fine. Sometimes they will both dive bomb into you. One dive bomb will put you instantly in danger. So you've got to be careful. We had an ideal pattern there where they were like on the floor, and then we managed to get past them and do the flashbang strat. I just messed up the modulator, but you wouldn't do that, so it's fine. I messed it up because I spent so long explaining the clock face side of it. So like what I meant by that as well is with the dials themselves. If you imagine the dials are like clocks, then when I say Murph is 2 and 4, I mean that the left one is at 2 o'clock and the right one is at 4 o'clock. And the next one we use is OSS, and that's like 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Because on PC they say like what, DSS or something, DDS or something like that, whereas the correct way to say it on a controller would be left stick, right once, right stick, right once, you know, things like that. So that's why I like to remember it as clock faces, because I think it's a bit easier to explain. So now we can manipulate the lickers here. If we do that, they should run for the gunshot, but they're going to dive on me instead. That's fine. Is there one in front of me? I think there is. I'm going to use caution. No, we're good. There we go. So that was probably the best that I can hope for with my runs. Basically, any manner of things, like if that grenade isn't spot on, some of those zombies could have survived, and then you've got a zombie or two and lickers to deal with. I have had that before happen quite a few times. I'm not sure what makes that grenade. I'm not sure myself on how to make sure that grenade always kills them. I used to just yeet it when I went around the corner, and I never just used to just like glance at them, lob it, and turn away and run straight away the other direction. But now I've started paying more attention to it because they've been surviving, and I'm like, wow, what am I doing wrong? But hopefully it all went well like that, and I'm not willing to rerun that checkpoint and show you again because I could be stuck there for days. We've got excellent RNG here. Sometimes there's an Ivy right as we get up the ladder. Sometimes there's one there as well, and he's a pain. They have random placements. Wow, see that weird little diagonal shimmy she got there because my angle was off? That's the joys of analog stick. Okay. Now we're going to get the card key. So again, these are random, but this one is going to get up. There's a blue herb there if you need it for a full heal. But what we want to do here is we want to pick this up, combine it, and then instantly 180 away. And you need to make this clean this turn, because he can grab you otherwise. Now in this next door, there's an Ivy here. Like this. His position is a little bit random. You should really go to the left, go all the way wide of this little desk in front of us. I usually beeline it straight for the door. Because I had a slow door here and he is right on me, he very well might grab me here. Okay, he didn't. Fantastic. Here, I'm going to pause it while I've got enough time. There's two Ivies here that we went past earlier. The first one, if he's back turned and you can react to it quick enough, you should be able to sprint past him without him getting you, especially if you're in caution. If you stop even for a split second and hesitate, he'll grab you. If he's looking at us, we're just going to spark him and sprint before the second one gets us. So he's not, we can run past him. Nah, we couldn't there actually, because he stumbled. So that's the only exception. Not only were we slow, but he stumbled forward. Some zombies do it as well, where they just go and just shamble forward really quickly. We don't want that. If he's just monging around and walking slowly, we can run past it. But if he's doing that, we can't. So them Ivies, you don't have a run until you get past these Ivies. 48 minutes into the game, by the way. So here, if you load this checkpoint, you may think, oh, I need to just run off. No, this checkpoint is weird, and it makes you have to do this again. When I did the charity race last year, I remember Dildor getting memed by this bit. Because it can happen, because you're not used to loading the autosaves, so you don't know where you are when you load the autosave. Because we just usually, if we get hit, we just reset the whole game, right? But okay, now hopefully I should get better lines. I'm going to hope and pray that that RNG is still the same and he's back turned again. Oh, I keep getting that slow door. I'm not mashing enough. Mash X at your doors, people. Okay, so I'm going to try it again. Nah. Okay, you can't get through that side. This is I'm going to do a little bit of homework here while we're here, so you guys are going to witness this, because I want to find out what the deal is. Perhaps if I go on the right of him, but each time he stumbles, and because he's stumbling, he's catching me up, and therefore he gets the grab. If he's just walking or standing still and not stumbling forward, then we can get past him. And I know, because I have got past him a couple of times doing this. But I'm going to try that same thing again. Why do I keep getting slow doors? This is what I was on about mashing X for doors. Because I feel like if you don't, you get slow doors. Unless you've got a clean angle and she's going to barge straight through it. Trying to keep my hands in the shot. Yeah, see, he lunged. So normally, yeah, I need to skate and mash X more. Like that. And then we get a clean line past him. I'm going to try and go on the right side of him this time and see if this works. Yeah, there we go. So you go on the right side of him. I don't know if going on the left side of him makes him stumble forward, but that time he didn't stumble forward and I went to the right and both things were fine. So, but again, if he's looking at you, spark shot, just not a full charge or anything, just start zapping him for 1 or 2 bars and then let go and leg it, and just absolutely hoof it before the second Ivy catches up. They're quite awful RNG, so you never, as Forrest Gump says, those Ivies are like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. Terrible joke, but whatever. So we pick up that safety herb there as well. I like to get it on the way out, not on the way in, because now I've got heals for G3. Who, funnily enough, is who we're about to go up against. What time are we at? 48. This is a bit slow. But we should be starting G4 at 49, and that is still in line with my practice saves, and in line with a 57 time, providing that we get all the bosses well. Pick this grenade up, and that returns our 3rd grenade, so we've got 3, and we're going to get 1 in this fight as well. And then this OSS, so you can use R1, left once, right once, or 12 and 5. Oh, circle, circle, X, X. When you do it in slow motion, it's hard to get the right timing, but when you're used to just doing it in a run, it's fine. If you banked that grenade after G1 at the start of the game, you can get it there now, and we can have it for this fight. There's a blue herb there if you need it, if you want to make a full heal. And there's a red herb coming up as well if you want to make a complete full shield heal. So fear not. There's also a first aid spray in the fight. So even if all goes to hell, we'll be fine. And I'm going to reload anyway, so it don't matter to me. But just so you know, that's why I'm telling you where all these things are. The red herb is right there in that locker. Because you might perhaps need to use them. I know I did. I used to go and get that red herb quite a lot just to make another heal for this part. But obviously using the magic of save states, I don't need to worry about that. Right, now what we're going to do here, I'm going to explain it before we do it. Obviously, we need to spark shot his eyes and break each one of his eyes, and then we want to get him down. And when he's down, because of this DA, because we didn't use the grenade in the sewers, we're going to spark the 3 eyes and put him down onto his knees, and he exposes his chest. Then we full spark him in the chest, and we're going to run off and grab some spark ammo and another grenade. And then we're going to reload, he's going to come round, and we're going to try and bait a jump. And then we're going to take out the next 3 eyes, put him down again, and we're going to knife his shoulders 10 or 11 times. I usually do 11 for luck. And then 1 full spark in his chest, 7 more knife slashes, and before he roars, we're going to throw the grenade, and it should kill him. Now, if you've done this casually or even in a speed run, you've probably done this whereby if he goes into final phase too early, he will then go and pick up the door, rip it off the wall, and throw it. We're going to try it. It may take me a couple of attempts to nail this, so I apologise now if this is, skip forward half an hour, perhaps at this point to see the end of this area. But if all goes well, the fight will take just under 2 minutes, and it will skip the door animation as well. So let's just see how we do. So we're at 49.42. That is 40 seconds behind my practice save. Still in line for a 57 or a 58. So we want to shoot the leg first. Don't miss. Back away while you're doing it. And then aim straight for that shoulder. Don't miss. Back away and back a little bit around this corner. Okay, that's fine. Run towards him and let him try and punch us. And run past him. Then hit him in the back and don't miss. He's going to go down like that. Now, I'm pretty sure I should... Usually, on my practice save, I had a higher DA, so I had to knife him 5 times and then do the spark there. But whenever I've tried that since using this particular route, he has gone into final phase too early, so it's not been successful. So I'm just going to use... I'm not going to knife him 5 times, I'm just going to shoot him there. Now he's going to do that. He usually should jump there. We actually want him to jump normally. Now he's going to jump. And he's going to punch me. No, good. Get that one on his leg. Brilliant. Get that one on his back. He might jump me or hit me before it goes off. He didn't. Fantastic. Then we go here to his shoulders. Don't go to his chest. If you slash his chest eyes with a knife, he'll just stand back up within like 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it broke! 10, 11. Oh, I didn't know the knife was that damaged. That was my bad. Yep, and now he's just not even going into final phase. Now he's going into final phase. Just but screwed by a second. Oh, don't load the practice save. Do not load the practice save. Load the autosave. So we were at 49 when we started, and we're at 51 there. He should have been dead there, so you can see how quick that is. But that was not bad for first try. He didn't play ball either. It kind of went a bit scuffed for the red eyes. But I wasn't aware I was on a bloody broken knife. You need to be on a full knife here, not a shit knife. Full knife. If you've got a crap knife here, delete it because you don't need it. You only need one, and then you get another one for the next fight, so don't worry about it. So you want one full knife. That was my mistake. I don't normally have to worry about having another knife there. Okay, so I'm going to shoot him in the leg and back away behind these containers. But what I do is I shoot his shoulder here, and when it explodes, I then bait his punch. That's going to explode. But don't get caught by these containers. That can happen. That's why I said to back around the corner. If you delay your first shot, the shot on his leg, just back away and then start shooting the leg. And then when it goes off, shoot the shoulder and back around the corner where he's going. And then he will whip a punch over here and you've got a lot more space. I may need to use like one knife slash on him, but I think because my knife broke and I lost the slash, I think I still could get the quick kill. So now ideally, he didn't do it last time, but here he can either come round and do an overhead punch, or he can come round and start doing a really slow overhead punch, which is a 4-string, like 4-hit attack. Or he can run round here really fast and just punch us. Or he can walk around here, look at us and jump. The jump is the most consistent usually, and that's what we want him to do because we want to go for his back. But it's only when he's got the space to do it. There we go, he jumps, run towards him when he jumps. Then delay this shot just for a second, then hit the back. If he goes to pick up the container, you'll get a good shot on the next one. Then hit the leg, and go round to the right here, so if he runs at you, he gets stopped by the container. I tried to go round him, but he used the wrong arm. Idiot, I thought he was going to use his other arm. So now he's going to go for this container. That's fine. That's perfect, actually, because he's just going to get screwed. Now he goes down right in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 for luck. Then shoot the chest. Now he should get up and roar, and we're going to keep knifing him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the roar. When he roars, throw the grenade, and that should be it. He should then just walk off and die. There we go. GG. Oh, sorry, I had my controller away from the screen. I do apologise. But now we're at 51:28, and we started at 49:40, so just under 2 minutes. If you need it, there's a first aid spray there at the end of it on that shelf. Man, I'm happy I got that in like this, what, second or third attempt. That's ideal. That fight is where your time goes. So even if you finished G2 at 40 minutes instead of like 36, like I normally would, you can still, as long as this fight went well and the last fight goes well, this is where you lose your time. The reason why, if your run at the minute is 105 or 101, it's because of that fight we just did. But as you see, if you know a good strategy for it and you don't miss your shots, you can appreciate that I've practiced that a lot. And you can also, I can also load up my practice save 10 times in a row, and there's a chance that he will just be a dick in all of them and just not play ball. But there, he practically did pretty much everything I wanted. He knew we were on YouTube, so he was being good for me. And we only used 1 grenade, right? So we've still got 3 grenades for G4. So that's the way I've routed it. You've also still got a flashbang just for no reason, because I didn't need it. So I could even route that flashbang back out of the run if I wanted. But at the same time, I think it's handy to keep it, because if you might get grabbed by someone, like you might have got grabbed by one of the lickers or something, and you could just feed it the flashbang. So it's fine. left and then sprint here. Now don't do an excel and go the wrong way and head to the east area like he did in his knife run one time. Now this bit's a mandatory sort of section, but from here onwards we should finish the game in 5 minutes, which will be at around 57. Ideal. It might be 58, depending on how my G4 goes, but we're still going to be within reason and be still under an hour. And because I've messed around in the inventory and we've had some memes and stuff, and I haven't, you know, perfectly reloaded every different mistake, because I wanted some mistakes left in so that we did lose a bit of time. I kind of didn't want this to essentially be a PB while I was tutorializing it, so that's fine. But I also still wanted to be true to my word, and even though I save scummed it, showing you that in like the perfect runs, like providing everything went according to plan like this, that you can get this time. And here I'm going to whiff some shots because that will lower my DA, and I only need 1 bullet left anyway. And here is a first aid spray. Might as well pick it up. Might as well. No reason not to. It's so easy to grab. And then grab this knife. That knife we do actually need. If you're struggling for inventory, there is a box there, but you should, if you followed what I've done, you should be okay relatively. Hold the door open for Sherry, and then she won't get stuck by it. She can just... It will only fall 2, and she can push it open. Save yourself 2 bullets. You're supposed to save 1. I say save 2, just in case you miss. It's worth it. Quick turn here. These ivies will never get you. Just never stop, and they won't. If you walk, they'll get you. Green herb there, safety herb. If you really think you're going to need it, I suggest you pick it up. There's a red herb by G4 as well, so we can have another full heal. Now this bit is the Monk S part with the 2 ivies. So we're going to do the sprint boost off the ladder. Now you've got 2 different strats you can do here. If you don't want to deal with these ivies, you can go back to that ladder, go halfway up it, and do that up and down shimmy that we spoke about at the start of the game. You can shimmy up and down, and at 8, when the timer remaining says 8:55, head down the bottom of the ladder and sprint for this door. Now there's an ivy that's going to drop here. There's a chance that when you do the ladder strat, he might stumble out and he might grab you as you run past, or even as you've got past him, he might lunge and still get you. So alternatively, what we're going to do is we're going to stand here anticipating him, and we're using the bad knife. We're just going to slash him before he can activate. There we go. That was great. He's dead. I slashed him too many times. He's dead. Instantly went straight back down. There's another one here. Now don't panic. I want you to literally walk into him and give him your knife. Just mash L1. Now he gets the broken knife. We've also killed enough time and kept him at bay that Sherry opens this door at about 8:46, 8:47. There's no way he can catch us. Alternatively, in another strat, if you've got any spark ammo here, you can. If you've got 2 spark shots left, you could fully spark and kill those guys if you wanted to. And we could have done that. We had 2 shots left. Now the reason I said to leave 2 handgun bullets is because there's 1 zombie here, and if you miss the first shot, you want to hit him with the second one. He's only got 50 HP. He's just a 1 shot every time. But if you miss, he will double lunge with this DA. So he would, if I tried to do the dodge like on the bus, he would have double lunged us, and then there's a chance I could have messed that up. I don't actually have that green herb, so that's fine. I didn't pick up the safety herb, but there was a red herb if you needed it. And we've got 2 inventory space clear, and as you can see, they're scattered. But as I showed you about dual items, it's going to just put them together, and I'm going to move it as well. Left, up, X. Put it at the top there because I want it as the first slot. Sprint boost after that cutscene. I messed it up. Stair skate here. This room is sticky as hell. So don't pick the minigun up. Oh, see what I mean? But use these first because you haven't got the inventory for both. So use the plug first, then get the minigun. Right. Now, if we've done this correctly, or if I do this fight correctly, we should finish this fight at 57:33, roughly. I'm going to try for my quick... Okay, I'll explain the fight first. The fight is, when he lands on this train in a second, we're going to minigun as many eyes as possible, and then he's going to jump down onto the floor. When he jumps down, I'm going to run over and meet him, and then we're going to slash him in his chest eyes. And if you get a good slash on him and then another good slash or two, you will cause him to avoid you and instantly go to climb the wall. If he goes to climb the wall, then we can throw a grenade at him. He'll fall off the wall. We run over to him while he's on his back. We slash at his belly, his eyes, and he turns himself over. And you go round the front of him, slash at the eyes again as he's getting up, and he will. Then by that point, 40 seconds into the fight, he is on red eyes already. Final phase. It's like a quick one cycle. You can do the fight in like 45 seconds, and then all you have to do is minigun him and knife him a couple of times, and he's dead. You can do it in like 45 seconds if you do that strat. I will try for that. I'm going to try a couple of attempts to get the quick one, and if not, my quick one is a minute anyway, so it's fine. It just means we do it in a slightly different order. So we're going to minigun him here, change to the knife. Ah, crap. Don't go too early. I timed it. I was too ready too early. I'd already started moving. You have to react to him. You have to kind of move when he's about to land. But I reacted to him as soon as he flinched. I started running, and I shouldn't have done that. If that happens, don't worry. If you did that, you can still carry on the fight the same way. Just try and go for the knife, and he will go for a baby rage attack. And then you will still have my strategy when you've watched how I'm going to do it. You can still turn it into the same fight, don't worry. I just don't like getting hit there if I can help it. That's just like, rookie mistake for me. Okay, so minigun. I'm going to run back. We start the fight at 56:19. Okay. So we run all the way back to the back wall and then shoot as many eyes here as you can. Now run. Knife. Okay, I missed it. Oh, he's already going for the wall. Okay, this is the quick one. Throw the grenade as he's getting on the wall. Drop him. Missed the eyes. That was a good one. That was a good one too. Run past him. Now we're going to shoot him, and he's going to probably charge at us. You really only need to shoot the eyes. He's going to charge at the wall, and we're going to run around him, and then we're going to run up to him and knife him. Run away. Minigun him more. So he's in red mode already. Oh, it's going to hit me because I was greedy. Yep, that's fine. That's why we got heals. I don't ever expect anyone to do this no damage. Just full heal and knife away when he gets greedy. He's dead. There you go. If I'd have got one more bullet in. When he gets like this, you know he's dead when he crawls down. Now here, you can either minigun him loads until he dies, or you can go over and knife him if you're feeling ballsy. But his claws will still hit you, so I wouldn't suggest it. Just minigun him. There we go, he's dead. That should be 57:33, roughly. No, that'll be 57:35 or 36 because I got hit and I had to heal. $57.37. There you go. I was just about right there. Now, alternatively, I'm going to redo that fight for you because sometimes, and I practiced this today, that's how I know. Sometimes, like, I messed up the very first knife and I didn't get enough eyes. The second knife was really good, and I thought he would, I didn't think he would go straight for the wall, but he did. And that is the quick kill, what I class as my quick kill, when he goes straight for the wall like that after we've initially knifed him. So luckily we've still got this checkpoint. Also worth noting, if you die on him at any point, like, or your fight goes terrible and you don't PB, just remember you've got this autosave before you reset the game. So before you go and load up another run, you've got this autosave to play with. So this one, if I show you this strategy, this one will be like around 57:43 or 45 or something. It's a little bit slower, but this is the what do I do if I can't get the quick kill? Like he didn't walk to the wall, XL, what do I do? This is what you're going to do. So I'm going to intentionally not knife him well because I want to show you this. The first part's this is all still the same. So we're going to run back on ourselves. We're going to minigun as much as we can. Get all those eyes, as many eyes as you can pop. And then when he lands, say that you're too late or you missed. Oh no, I've got bad knives. He's going to do this baby rage attack. Go through him, and then aim at him, and we're going to shoot the yellow eyes. He's going to charge at the wall. Oh, he's going to instantly climb the wall. That's even better. Okay, we're going to do it again as well to show you another strat. Because this is not the fight that I planned. But there you get them eyes there. And then run away from him. Run away from him again. Okay, he's coming into us, that sucks. There he goes, dead. That's option number 2. This section takes about 10-12 seconds. So that one would have actually been quicker because we didn't get hit somehow. Let's finish it anyway, let's see, just in case. Yep, there we go. So that one is probably the 33 that I predicted, which was funny because that wasn't what I classed as the quicker version. The one where you go straight for the wall is the quick version. And somehow we did that quicker, but probably because I didn't get hit and I didn't have to heal, so that's where the time sink comes in. There's the 57-33 that I predicted. Okay, now I've got one more version of that fight to show you. I apologise I didn't show you many more options against G3, but with G3 it's just... For a start, I really hate that fight. It's the hardest fight in the game, and I'm too hype over the fact that we got it like second or third attempt. If you made it this far in the video, then it's worth me telling you that I tried to record this last night, so like one day before this version, and G2 didn't die when he was supposed to because I kept missing one of my shots on the first shot. G3 just didn't play ball about 9 times in a row, and G4 I couldn't get any of the quick kills to save my life. So today is a much better day. It's like now, it's like, you know, when you try and show someone something and it doesn't work and you get annoyed, it was like that. I'm like, I know I can do it, it works, why can't it work on camera? So okay, let's try and get the alternate strat, the one that I practiced, because it's how it normally goes for me. But normally he doesn't go straight for the wall. So like, I kind of get bad slashes here, and he does his baby rage thing, and then I run away, and then he's gonna, when he finishes this attack, he's gonna wall charge me, and when he does, he's gonna instantly climb the wall. Oh, he didn't that time. Okay. He bounced off it. Never mind. Alright, no, that's fine. Like, now he's going to climb the wall. Usually that's quite consistent, that if you don't get the insta-climb, where he goes past you and, like, your first few knife slashes and then he instantly goes for the wall, if you don't get that, because I was trying to work this out when I practiced it today, I was like, what is the difference between getting the quick kill, and it's between getting just good slashes and getting good amount of eyes at the start. You don't need to go slash, 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 slash. You need to go slash and have a really good angle and get a good cut, and slash and get another good angle, and then he'll just go for the wall. You only need like 2 or 3 slashes. But I kept not getting adequate slashes, and he kept just doing his baby tantrum attack. And then when he was doing the tantrum attack, he would then charge at me, and instead of bouncing off the wall and reflecting off it like he did, he would insta-climb it. So that's why I've kind of learned to be ready for it. I'm trying to use that strategy. I'm trying to use it in my favour, but it's not working. But I'll try and get to show you. But either way, it's just so I wanted you to see like 3 potential options. I'm just going to try and make bad slashes. Okay, so now he does the baby attack, the baby rage. And then yeah, what I normally do is I normally just try and massacre his eyes. Oh, now he's going to go straight for the wall again because I've got enough eyes. I can't even show you the slower strat if I tried. This is like the complete opposite of last night's luck. I won't try it too many more times. But yeah, basically if your knife slashes go really poorly at the start there, like mine were, which were intentional, he then does his baby tantrum, baby rage attack. You run away from him, and then you shoot him like I did, and he'll either charge you, which you run out of the way of, and then beware that he usually will climb the wall straight away, so get your grenade ready. Or when you were shooting him like we did there twice, he's just started to walk towards the wall himself. Somehow I'm already getting like way better knife slashes, or maybe I'm getting more eyes to begin with. But it's like I'm trying to actually do it slightly worse to show you the other strategy, and it's not bloody working. Like, oh no, my boss is going too well. Let's hope this happens in a run. Because my G4, on my 56-minute PB, my G4 sucked. Because I hadn't practiced him enough. So I hadn't had the strat down. So like, here we go, we're going to miss that. And then he's going to do his baby rage thing. I think it's to do with where I am. Because I usually go down here, right? And then just massacre the eyes. And is he going to do the charge? Can he do the charge? No, he still wants to go for the wall. Okay. Weird. It's because I'm trying to show you this particular strategy, but now maybe this is the new strat. But that's because it kept being so predictable where he would have charged me there and then insta-climbed up the wall before I could get my grenade ready. I started to get used to him doing that and preparing for it, and then making sure I had that grenade ready as soon as I ran past him, so that I could then instantly get him off the wall and not be surprised and not lose time. But now, maybe I'm just somehow hitting more eyes than I was last time, because he's just always climbing on foot instead, which I'm not complaining about, don't get me wrong, but oh, I hate that room, it's so sticky. I think because just generally I'm hitting good shots today. Yeah, he's going straight for the wall every time because I'm hitting my shots. Ah, I was late on the grenade there. That's where you get screwed though. You need to be ready for that grenade. As he's putting his claw into the wall, and just as he's landing it, throw the grenade. If you're too soon, it will miss, and if you're too late, it will miss, funnily enough. Who would have guessed? And when we have this little routine here with the way that I'm shooting him and then he's walking up the wall, I'm not prepared for that, so that's why I'm missing the grenade. Because I'm trying to get him to do the strategy that he did like 6 times in a row for me earlier when I did it. But not to worry. Right, this one, no matter what happens, we're just going to finish it. So this is going to be the last one. But this fight is a lot easier than it first seems. Once you get used to his attacks, he's not actually that bad. His range is obnoxious as hell, don't get me wrong. Okay, now we run away. So maybe because here I shoot enough eyes that he goes for the wall. But he should go for the floor charge. There we go. And then he's going to go for the insta-climb. There we go. I'm going to run away because he's going to backswing me. See the range he's got. He's obnoxious, and then he can advance so far forward quicker than we can. Now another trick you can do here is obviously we've got loads of grenades. Let's use another one. Mess him up. That's gonna hit me. There we go, just before he could decide to climb again. So again, you've got those extra nades, you can use them and blow up the eyes, or use it if he climbs on you a lot and you're not able to replicate this, save your grenades when he climbs up the wall. Either way, you'll at least damage him, so it's not a bad shout. But if you're good enough that you can if you can do this fight with just the one grenade like I have been, then feel free to, when you get a chance, use one of your second or third grenades, because they're there. Just use them, you might as well. But I wanted to show you that you could get all the way to this boss and still have like 3 grenades and 2 flashbangs. And only using some of them resources, and we're still finishing the game in under 58 minutes. So, yeah. There we go. Oh. A job well done, I think. So, hopefully, following these strategies, and hopefully everything has been clear and understandable for you guys. If there's anything you don't understand, or there's a certain area that you're struggling with that you want me to save scum and upload a video about, like the lab lickers, I only did that once or twice because I was happy with that pattern. If you really want to see like a few different patterns of how that can go, then please just let me know in the comments, and I will dedicate a video to that for you, and I'll just do like 10 minutes of checkpoints through there and just trying to do it the same way every time and see what patterns I get. And as soon as I get out past the lab lickers, I'll reload and do it again and things like that. But if there's any other bosses you don't understand or you're struggling with or whatever else, literally just chuck a comment down. I'm really active on YouTube and I'll always respond to everyone's comments. So they come through to my phone as well. So even when I'm in bed, I'll get the notification. So, please don't hesitate to ask any questions or whatever else. I'm not going to shill myself and tell you to like and subscribe and press the bell. I couldn't give a flying fuck about any of that, if I'm honest. All I would like is if this did help you, please let me know. Please just say in the comments like this helped me out. Thank you. That's all I really want, is to know that someone watched this and managed to get under an hour, which they were struggling with. That is what the goal of this video is, to help speedrunners that may not know all the strategies that I know to get a faster time, and for people who are struggling with an hour and 10 minutes and an hour and 5 minutes to get under an hour. I've been helping a few runners recently, three of which were all struggling at 1 hour 10, and I've given them some of my tips and my boss guidance, and I've made dedicated tutorials personalized for them like this. And they've all got down to 59 minutes now, so using my strategies. So that's why I wanted to make this video. One of my closest friends, Zach, shout outs to Zach, Head Rockers, sup bud, he recommended that I do this. Sneevel, excellent runner. Hi Sneevel, if you see this, you're the champ. She's top 3 on console at the moment. There were some strategies that she didn't know about that I helped her with. It's things like that. Like, I love this game. I play it a lot. I may not be the fastest speedrunner, but I know all the strats. I just can't always execute them with my hands, but I can tell you how to do it. So that's the main thing. So with all that being said, and the game being completed 3 times in 57 minutes, I hope that this, as I said, I hope this was helpful. If you made it this far, thank you very much for taking the time to watch all of this. I'm bowing on camera. Thank you. I do appreciate it. It means the world just if one person watches this that isn't my mum, to be honest, and she won't watch it. So yeah, that'd be great. But for now, and also, if there's any interest for it, again, say in the comments if you guys would like me to work, because I can start practicing now, and we could work on doing a Leon on PlayStation tutorial guide as well for Leon A. If that's something that you guys would like to see, again, let me know in the comments below. But I've been Excel. This has been Claire A Speedrun Tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. You take care, and I hope you have a very good day.